everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight on Sharky Waters Wednesday Night Dive. It's our season 1 finale, and we're doing things a little bit different this week. We're here at Brian Trudeau's Trudeau Automotive at 9220 South Tacoma Way here in Tacoma, Washington. It's a beautiful sunny day. We've got all of our local Shark family here, and we're gonna do a little tournament that everybody's bought into. We're gonna draw some names out of a hat and put some names on the board, and we're all gonna play for the money that goes into the pot. It's gonna be a couple $100 on the line, so there's gonna be some sweat on the palms. We've got Eric the Clock Doctor guaranteed a spot on the wall. Brian guaranteed a spot on the wall. Myself, of course, a spot on the wall. Matt Wells, because it's his birthday, and he's the first employee of Clean Slate Billiards, being set to relaunch January of 2020. So that's something that we'll be doing, working hard on during the season, off-season break. And then Jesse Bergman snuck his way in on the board last second. Despite a lot of protest, it was waved that it would be. So he's in there, and we're gonna draw 5 other names of everyone in the room. Luke Ludford, Forrest, Debbie, Sam. Sam, did you pay money? Sam. Cliff, you wanna play? All right, he's gonna watch. So, and then we've got Roland Dickerson and Jeff Jerome and the other force back there. All those guys, 5 of them, one of those 5, all 5 of them are gonna be pulled out, and then we're all gonna battle for it. There's good side action on the side. Everybody's got their poker chips. There'll be some betting around, and everybody will be talking about that stuff. I wanna try and wrap up the full season and put a little bit of our drills into practice. You know our slogan, that perfect practice makes a perfect performance. So I thought that we would start with the L drill, which is the first drill that we did season 1, episode 1 with Jesse on. And so I think I missed every ball on that, and it did a real poor performance, but gave myself a lot of room to grow. So I'm gonna try that a couple times, let Brian do it a couple times. I know that this is his home table. It's a nice gold crown. I put it together myself. It's got 2 weird rolls that we're gonna fix, but in the meantime, we've got another pool table that we're gonna be building. We'll see if you guys can find the rolls. I know where they're at, Brian knows where they're at, but they'll go away soon. In the meantime, we're gonna keep those advantages quiet and our cards close, and we're gonna see how we do with it. I'll set up the balls, and
I'll hold this chair down.
Yeah, do that. One of the cool things about Brian's table is it's got the ball return, and though he and I are in different camps on the ball return or the drop pockets, it is nice whenever you're doing drills to be able to just pull them out of one spot and then set them back up. So we set them up in the L's 2, 3, 4, 5. Brian, you ever do this one?
Yeah. Haven't been massively successful at it, but I have done it.
I think, Jesse, you got to the 7 ball or something? That's right.
Typical. You've been taking lessons from me at dogging the money ball.
Did you see the last episode against Tor?
Yes. I don't know if I finished.
I broke and ran out a rack, and I got in the exact same position of the break and run out that I had against you, and wound up with the side pocket shot that I thought was a better safety. And I was telling Tor, I studied this shot after I missed this on the break and run out against Jesse, and I still want to shoot it the way I shot it last time. And he was like, "You're a way better player now." I drained it. Felt super good. This is actually a little bit different too, because the first episode we did it from this way. So a little bit of exercise there. We got some chalk chunks. We need new chalk around here. It's crumbling.
Yeah.
Predator, we're looking for sponsorship. Kamui, we're open to offers there too.
Yeah, we're flexible.
All right, I got 2 chips. He doesn't make it to the 5.
We got
Nice.
action.
Nice.
3.
No, you got to do it before he hits the first ball now.
All right. I'll take you 1 on it. I'll take you 1 chip on it.
One chip to the 5.
One chip
Yeah.
to the 5. That's reasonable.
You gotta get to the 5.
Even as a starting point
Is it
here,
to the 5 or make the 5?
Dom made his first shot
To the 5.
the first time
Okay,
we
so
ran
pocket
this
the
To the
four.
five.
Okay.
He didn't make the first shot, so you can already see
is
the
a-
improvements happening in
one
season
true
one.
distinction.
No.
Double up.
It's not good.
Still at the table.
Yeah, you're gonna like this one.
It's gonna get fancy. We're taking the scenic route to the 4-ball. You guys bump the 4-ball out of the way.
Yeah,
No
right.
rules
You
against
didn't
that, is
explain the
there?
rules.
We didn't lay down any ground rules in this game.
All right, Brian, you're up. Let's see what you got.
There we go. I get a try. So in order, I just can't hit any
I
other
got
balls.
a dollar says he can't. I got a chip says he can't get to the 5. Anyone wants it?
Take that action. I'm not feeling that lucky.
You got to throw the bait out there, man. You know how to fish, right?
Well, I was trying to double fit.
The bites are already gone by the time you already let your buddy throw the hook in.
Trying to treble.
Ooh, that's strong. Matt, are you guys pulling names? Not yet. Yeah, that's like him. He's gonna pull them in. Like,
Oh, that's a little soft.
maybe you can help him.
Little soft.
wait, but oh yeah, you had to pocket.
I
the 4.
pocket the
Yep,
4, right?
yep,
That's
yep.
the action.
You want to go again?
Yeah, I'll go again. I feel good now. I got the feel of it now.
Yep.
2 throws in, and we're already seeing chips flying on people.
You want to go 2 on it?
Double it up.
Early bets being placed. Exciting from the get-go.
I am the Monopoly man.
Fall in there! Oh, this game is horseshit. Oh, sorry.
All right, one more for me.
This game is-
Yeah, kid friendly.
This game is
kid
blasphemy.
friendly. Kid these days friendly.
Sorry.
I think you can-
PG-13.
I think we can say horse shit, man. We're doing a lot of
Okay.
horse betting, and it's in the air.
That 2-ball, man. Anybody else see that?
Anyone else
I'm
want to
telling
try
you,
and shoot it? Go,
The 2-ball's got
Luke
it out for
Ludford,
me, man.
he's up. Jesse's first.
Yeah, you got to get to the 5.
The chip says I get further than you.
No, it's 2. We'll make the 4. To the 5-ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Jerome.
Oh boy.
Hold on, we can't touch the 5.
No,
And it's all gotta go in the same bucket?
I don't know. What are the rules here? It's gotta go in the corner. Okay,
Okay, for sure. Oh, man.
dude.
What do you got, the Z-Bank?
Double.
Double Z bank. And you're gonna miss the 5? Dude, have you taken the physics class? That's not gonna happen. All right, well, let's see it. Do it, Jeff.
That's a good bet, an extra chip on a shot like this. Pay up, Jeff Jerome. You're just as human as everyone else. I think that this drill highlights how difficult the game that we all love is. You know what I mean? It all seems so simple in implementation, but you get a room full of friends and you get some chips on the line, and all of a sudden it becomes real different.
Yeah, it'll expose all your weaknesses, that's for sure.
You know, the skill level stuff is.
Do we want to lag for break, or how are we doing it?
Flip a coin for this one. No, let's lag. That's the
Okay.
Shark Attack format. So I thought that Brian and I would do this Shark Attack during the open swim section so that we would leave room for the tournament afterwards in the finale. I see you there. We usually do the microphones off, and we try to take the Shark Attack a little bit more seriously between player to player. We do have some inner dialogue, but that stuff's usually missed from you guys in the audience. And so today you can hear me and Brian talk. We spend a lot of time playing with our kids. Our kids are best friends together, and so we're like playing matches with Nerf arrows flying and
Stepping over
wiffle balls,
Legos.
stepping on Legos.
Diffusing fights amongst them about the same toy that either one of them did 10 seconds ago.
And the occasional, like, just moving the balls on the table, and like all things are fair and playable. If the kid moves it on my turn, it stays. If the kid moves it on his turn, it stays.
Yeah.
Things like that. You have to
Totally
kind of
unsure.
formulate formal rules to confine the chaos. So we're like, bring it. Everyone's going to be in here. Everyone's going to be talking. Hopefully Eric's going to be keeping everyone in line and on time, and inviting people to come in and share some space in the commentary booth so you guys can get to know the community here. And then as we play, we're gonna put some chips up, I guess. And everyone else that's waiting to have their name drawn to play in the tournament, they're gonna be warming up on the back table back there. And then you'll find out who the names are, and we'll put the names on the board, and we'll sweat the action from there.
Sir, shoot him up, buddy.
Me too.
For those of you unaware of how the lag works, the intention here is for the player that can go all the way down the table and back and get as close to the bumper as possible gets to break first.
Brian, I don't know if you formally met Cliff here. He's the gentleman who bought the old table.
Whoa! How you doing, sir? Nice to meet you.
Let me
You're
take
talking about your
these.
old table at your house?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Big shout out to Cliff. We're super glad to have you here. Super glad that our table from season 1 of Sharky Waters ended up in a loving home. Someone who loves the game as much as we do.
Cliff, it goes without say that Brian plays pretty good, and he's like pretty comfortable in his own element here.
Ryan with the home
Sure.
field advantage.
Anyone else betting on this match? It's a race to 7. Race to 7. Burn. Yeah. I got you, Luke. I got you, man.
You got a little something for me?
Hey, they never texted me.
Can't help but notice just the, amount of energy in the room. So many people, it's a lot different than the Sharky Waters that we're used to,
Oh, I missed it.
Definitely
Trying to put
with
too much English
anything-
on it.
When you get enough people that are a fan of the same thing, you're definitely going to see that elated energy. And of course, all these people know each other from the community.
Hey,
Most of the
answer
people in the
Dave Lash for me.
room have been guests on Sharky Waters in the past.
But with all that being said, this game is as much about skill as it is about, the mental capacity, the endurance and being able to shut that out at those high energy moments.
That's just a lost turn, yeah?
Yeah.
Brian with ball in hand now.
No, cue ball stay on the table.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Got the hit, got around the 9.
Taking that.
Gonna run out.
Dom getting eyes on it.
Oh, shot! Dang, that was a good shot.
Had the awesome combo with the
shot
9,
hard,
but
though.
scratched on the cue ball. So that first game is going to go to Brian.
Oh, it's a punishing game we play, Brian. I don't know why people like you and me play it.
Because we're sick in the head. We're gluttons for punishment.
This game is a reflection and representation of my ability to fight through that.
Oh, my mistake, actually.
What's up, Callie? How are you?
Looks like we're
Did you
playing
get
with
checked in and
different
all that?
roles than I was expecting. So in that situation,
blue
because the
shirt.
9 ball went in and the cue ball went in,
Yeah.
the house rule is that the
Decide to
9 ball
stroke it
gets
today.
spot up on the dot and the cue ball goes back to the opposing player, ball in hand.
Brian keeping us on our toes with the house rules here, but we're going to get in sync real quick. That is a beautiful negative cut there, by the way.
Oh, come on, cue ball.
Got the bank in the side pocket. Looking at that 8 ball. Tight cut here.
Leaving some with Dom that's really workable here. Let's see if Dom can do a quick 2-ball run and lock in this first game.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, I think you're gonna get safe.
Well, I don't think so. I trust you on that. I was pretty close to the rail. It's a $10 buy. Talk to Matt. It's a $10 buy-in to do it.
Brian getting
You know what I
he was
mean?
looking for
If he
on
wants
that
to
one.
come in and pay the $10 for a raffle ticket, it's not a guarantee to get in. Yeah. Yeah. Did you win?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was
No,
distracted.
you're okay. You were talking.
Well, that was a warm-up rack.
Yeah, really
As
stretch
far
your
as
legs
I'm
out a little
concerned.
bit. Get the blood moving.
That's a pretty good break there.
I've been working on that.
Nice looking
Trying to
break
get the
by
one ball down in
Brian.
that pocket or pocket in the side and leave yourself shape.
The one ball on the side, you mean?
Yeah,
Or
either one on the
corner?
side or bring it above the pocket so it goes down here by the corner, and then usually people with the two back there are usually going back with these corners, so
Yeah.
pretty strong chance of getting out. If you
Yeah,
get the
that makes
break
sense.
I'm trying to do something here, Gypsy.
We got Gypsy in the house. It's not the cat today, it's the dog.
Oh, I'm gonna miss it. She does that sometimes. Hey, mind your manners. Can you go lay down, please? Come on. Good girl.
Tried a couple different things there. That's usually a bad idea. You should just commit to one.
And we have more lovers of the game of pool walking through the door now. More of the community joining us, sharing their love for the sport.
Great looking cut there to get at that 3 in the corner.
Now let's see if we can get this almost 90-degree negative cut into the side here.
That was a tough shot, but he made it look real easy. Got a good look on that 5 there.
Shot.
Yeah. All around, you should be happy with that.
Little nudge on the 6, probably wasn't quite as much as he wanted. But we've been seeing him hit these banks in the side pocket, warming up today and once or twice in that previous game. This is a makeable shot for him, definitely.
Yeah, I love these ones. This is actually one of my favorite type of shots to take in the game.
Really close.
Gross.
Really close. You could see that 6 ball was not quite on the rail. Sometimes when it's
Brian.
really up close to the rail, you can judge
Why
that
don't you
angle a
tell
little
me,
bit better. But
as
that
if
little
I don't know, so
half
everyone
inch
can
makes it
hear
tough.
what you're trying to do with your shop here. And despite how it may look, you're actually working on cars around here, I understand.
Yeah, there's a few wrenches being turned in the back, yeah. Yeah, it's basically, it's just, it's like my little shop during the day, pays the bills, gets, makes the money, and then there's my little underground pool hall at night. Have enough space for it. And, yeah, because this space is like really too big to do really anything with, so we're like perfect spot for pool tables, and since we all love playing pool, I mean, it just made sense. It's like the universe was talking to me.
Well, we had the pool hall shut down.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
On that note, guys, I want to give a moment to thank Brian for providing us some 9-foot action here. It's absolutely an amazing gift that, you can say there's nothing else to do with this space, but I mean, space costs money according to the lords of the land.
It does.
And I mean, that's a huge gift that you're giving the pool community. Thanks, man.
But yeah, no, that's no problem. I love it. I'm having a good time doing it. Well, it's really the only real 9-foot action in town anymore. I mean, there's really,
absolutely.
and I really, really enjoy the 9-footers. I mean, when I very first started playing pool over at Utopia, Debbie tried to get me to play the 9-footers all the time, and I was just a new guy, so I was like, no, I like the bar boxes. And that was when I was struggling to get out on a 9-ball rack on Valley bar box with giant jugs on it, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't like it on 9-footers because basically they expose all of your weaknesses, and
Yeah.
But after you get playing on it, I can't stand going back to a bar box now. I feel like my stroke's just like a little,
Yeah.
drives you crazy.
Yeah, that's why I like the oversized 8-foot table. It lends a good flexibility to go up to a 9 or down to a 7, in my mind.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
All right,
It's a
here's
nice
an
little middle ground.
opportunity.
Here we go. Drain that 6 ball, please.
Well, might be all right there.
All right, this green 6 is kind of not being that great of a ball.
Well, you know, I like to think of myself as like a Dutch oven. I take a long time to warm up, but once I'm there, I'm like ready to bake. So
Is that what that is? It's like a diesel engine, actually. You know what I mean?
I could see how you could translate that into mechanics.
do
Yeah,
anything.
absolutely.
Personally recall a different
Oh,
colloquialism
sorry about that.
Look at me
sorry about
jaywalking
that. That was
over here.
gross.
also called
Good
the
shot.
Dutch
That was
oven.
gross. I'll admit that already out loud.
Can't remember what it means now. Anyways,
Hold on, let me hop on UrbanDictionary.com real quick.
All right, you're gonna let me clean that
All right,
one
yeah,
up.
I'm gonna
I
let you
think.
get that one because that was just I can't. You're in good shape there.
Something
overcut
Dom
that
always
ball?
told me was
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
hit the short rail.
should always be able to confidently get that 3-ball run, you know? So him stepping up to the table now with only 2 balls, you know, it's well within his capacity, I know, to finish this game out right now. Let's see if he can do it.
Get in there.
I'm like living on the rail this entire
Yeah.
2 games. I got to get out there in the playing field. I'm like a little kid swimming on the pool, you know, that you like haven't learned that the deep end is okay to go out there and got to let go of the edge.
But you put your floaties on, man. You better-
Yeah, you got it. You got it. All right. Blow my floaties up and get in the water.
But no, the Tuesday night tournaments, Malarkey's had those
Yes.
tournaments every week,
Yes.
and I enjoyed going to them a lot. You know, I found that my game increased significantly when you play the really good players, and you know, when I very first started, I mean, we talked about it before, how many years you went 2 and out with those guys.
Yeah.
It's not like it's years or so before you start like winning these with and start moving up and
Yeah.
so you just
Streaky
keep.
game for me, you know,
Yeah.
and so I'm still in that realm of going 2 and out every once in a while.
I just went
but
2 and out last week.
tough.
My own tournament.
But
Yeah, with Luke and his 1-9 combos and. Yeah, you did. You did a good job, man.
But it's real tough, you know, when you're being the host and inviting the strongest players in town to come play. Like,
Yeah, no,
take it from me, you
I
know.
can tell you that when we have the full field and the usual suspects show up, barring Jeff Jerome, because he's probably one of the top in Tacoma for sure, we probably have 5 out of the top 15 in Tacoma here all playing on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And it shows. It's a good pool. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys are like Daniel shows up and, anybody misses, the other guy runs out. There is no back and forth usually. It's just
For those of you guys who don't
one-inning
know,
matches.
Daniel Sanusillo is AKA the Kid.
Well, like iron hones iron, we all
Daniel
make each other
Sarcadillo.
better as well.
But yeah, it's a really strong pool on Tuesdays. I mean, you can't get any stronger than that unless you want to start going semi-pro and start, talking to the huge names around here. But it's pretty much break and run most racks.
Good shot. Did you get me?
Is it a mill guard safety? But with the addition of the third table you got us, appreciate that about you.
Totally.
We're gonna, 2 things will happen is 1, we'll be able to get done at an earlier time, and 2, we'll be able to add more players. So that significantly helps.
Yeah, well, my little shout out to the pool community in that regard is like I'm hearing the needs and the wants of the people, But I'm like only one person out there doing all these tables, and things take time and energy, and tables get weird. They start to play weird. They need to be adjusted. That kind of stuff happens, and it just is a slow-moving, evolving, flowing currency of tables. These things have like outlived us all. This thing's probably from the 60s.
Yeah, when we pulled off the rubber, you saw the font was looks like it from the 70s.
Yeah, absolutely. And that one's been sanded down. We don't even know what color it used to be painted when it was in a pool hall at one time. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
We'll just doctor them up and make them good again.
I appreciate everyone's patience in that regard, because it really feels like my purpose to be a person to help usher in the game, and it pains me to see the pool hall fade away the way it did, and with the need kind of vacuum.
Oh yeah, Tacoma. I mean,
there.
no matter how many pool tables put in here, this is not a pool hall, and there's something to be said about having a pool hall. And this is everybody seems to like this, but come on, love. I ain't above begging.
And I know with our kids, you're in on the conversations with desires to get some school programs going, so we can get our kids playing against each other, some competitive pool with youngsters. You already know, like, my philosophy on it is that, pool is struggling because kids don't have a good, healthy exposure to it until they're not kids anymore.
Well, and then they're taught that it's just some game you play when you're drunk with your buddies at a bar.
You got it.
That's not even close. This is a very, very intensely difficult game. But although you can play with your buddies drunk at a bar, that is possible.
Yeah. People do that. There's plenty of that going on.
Way more betterer if you play it for real.
Yeah, the history of that camaraderie and connection is there. Underlining some other subcultures in there, like elitism and royalty. This game comes from kings.
Oh yeah.
And people who had the leisure time. A lot of people forget that the word leisure is, it's kind of connected in its etymology to scholarly, which means like you had to be smart enough and like educated enough to have the free time. Because, 250 years ago, you didn't have free time.
No, you were working the fields.
Working your ass off just to survive and be, But there were a few people out there who had that leisure time because they had set up institutions and systems that put them in place with the free time, Tough as a business owner and a single father at that, and a pool player to keep it all together.
Oh yeah. There you go. Double kiss that cue ball. That'll work. Oh, there you go. My gift to you, sir. I'm just fortunate that I can get off work, literally change my clothes, stroll into the next room, pick up a cue stick, start hitting balls to decompress the day.
Yeah, you and me both. We're pretty
it's like therapy.
Lucky in that.
A lot cheaper.
regard.
Therapy's like what, $100 an hour?
At least. My therapist costs more than that. Man, I'm swinging and hoping and nothing's helping. Gotta get it together here. A lot of noise in the crowd, though. A lot of people here. It's awesome. Thanks for everybody to show up. Whoa, too good.
I put a lot of energy on that ball. I thought it might get a little haywire, but nope, that was about as in control as it can get right there.
Ooh, I saw that.
Dusted its feet off.
I saw that.
Tried to miss it.
That's like that. That's that motor analogy. You kind of run early and run hot. I'm waiting for the fade out.
Yeah,
here.
wait for that rod to throw through the
No
block.
motor can run that many RPMs for that long.
What's that? Well, I'm getting lucky. I'm leaving him hella tough on most of these shots.
Sounds like there's
Not
some
giving
chips
much.
moving around the room already.
No, I can't with you,
People-
man. I'll give you a little edge. You're gonna get some momentum, like that diesel truck I'm talking about. It's like downhill momentum, and your brakes are out. It's just too much. You can't slow you down.
Well, a lot of this game is about inertia, right? Being able to stop it and control it and manipulate it. And it's kind of like a psychological momentum that happens out there, whether people can see it or not. Some people are obvious
yeah.
that it's happening. You know, Earl Strickland, for example, you're kind of an obvious
Yeah.
example for that, jab intended, you know what I mean?
No, yeah. Well, it's
But-
real. So
Me too, I think,
Yeah, I
too.
know.
Maybe not in such an
I'm the
outburst
first
way,
to
but
admit that my emotions
definitely
are on
in
my
an
sleeves sometimes in this game.
shrink inward kind of way. I think anybody watching the show and been familiar with
couldn't spin it
the
enough.
season knows that I'm like used to playing from behind. So I'm like, at some point you just put it out of your head
Like
and play,
this.
and play
Like that's what
pool.
I'm leaving. You gotta spin that
See,
ball
how'd you
better.
do that?
I tried to spin it, and the two was spinning around, got some speed.
That 6-ball has bumped with my line of path like 3 different times this evening when I'm trying to go somewhere. Need to pay better attention to it. I think it's because that 6-ball is a different color than the ones that we normally play on with Sharky Waters. You know, we have the TV set at the house.
Oh, I fucking bent that one out of the way. Hey now,
Finally.
there's a stroke.
Beautiful leave there.
Did it just get a little warmer in here?
Yeah, I know. I feel it. Open a window.
Dom just put just the right amount of backspin there to make sure that he could get on the right side of the 6 there, and into the corner. And
He's got a
sure enough,
chance.
he's going for the bank. Very long table. Decent safety by Brian.
Did you guys draw the names yet?
No, we're just talking about the line.
Nice. Well, just tell them that it's. John
3/8,
David
4 and a
Lash to
half,
come
at the-
in for
like
the
4 and a half
last
at the
second
opening.
spot on the board.
At the mouth.
I hope he comes and pays his $10 and doesn't get his name drawn.
You got rattled that 6-ball. I felt like that was a good stroke.
Come on.
Y'all can see it, but I'm going to be forced to take some kind of bank shot here. Decides to go for the safety.
Yeah, wisened up.
Looks like we actually hit Brian behind that 9 pretty well.
They will be drawing the names of this soon, though, I understand. The back noise room, what do we call that? The smoking lounge?
Smoking lounge or maybe the green room.
Good hit.
There it is. Hey now.
Got the tough one out of the way. This should be a quick 1-2. Hopefully we can get a bit of a stop shot action here. Oh, yep. Just had to put a little top left on it and bounce off the rail. Got a nice look at it. I'm going into the corner pocket here and see out this game.
And
the board.
we're off.
Now it's a match.
2 to
Now
1.
it's a match.
The Dutch oven is warming up.
3 to 1. 3 to 1.
3 to 1. Not that anyone's counting.
Yeah.
A lot of 9-ball movement on that.
Yeah, I was just about to say. That's when it gets exciting. Like, we're always looking for that cheddar shot on the open break is the exciting one,
Nice one in the corner there. Yeah, when you get that 9-ball on the break, just feels like a Steph Curry half-court shot, nothing but net.
Oh, still got it.
Beautiful.
Just a little nudge there made that 2 go in.
The game with
No room for error on that 3, and he just drills it in the corner. Beautiful. That was pro level.
a little bit of a stretch over the table here to get to the end of that 9-footer.
Oh, no.
He doesn't quite get the 4, unfortunately. Pretty safe behind that 6 and that 9.
Sure were. I'm gonna have to get real fancy with this one.
Here he comes, a little Massey.
Oh,
Made contact with the
Wait for it.
bumper there, just a little too early.
Gotta be formal. Is that ball in hand?
yeah, that's ball and answer. I scared the crap out of that 4-ball though.
Yeah, right?
Big decision here where Dom decides to place that to make sure that he's lined up for the 6 right afterwards. They're trying to stick it right on the rail there. We're going to come off that top cushion and take a little lap around the table, I bet.
That's funny. I had the 6 and the 7 ball mixed up there. All season long, we've been playing with the TV colored balls, in which the 6 is a light blue and the 7 is kind of a neon-ish green.
Dom actually was commenting on that earlier, even though small, as we like to call them, gives
duck
you
and
shits
hide there.
differences in this
Yeah.
game. Can have a factor there, Another big one is, some of those,
Tuesday
like a blue
nights.
ball, for instance,
Yeah.
on a big blue
Tuesday
cloth,
nights, it's
9
races
feet
to
down the
3
table there.
$10 entries.
Starts to get a little hard
Brian
to
can
see.
tell you all
Yeah,
about
absolutely. Brian opts for the safe and gets pretty safe. I bet Dom can just see the corner of that 6, but
Yeah, you might even get lucky and get a long table bank here. Let's see what happens. Oh, he ended up going on the other side of the 6 there. Kept a lot of table distance between Brian and the 6 there. See, this is a makeable corner shot, but he's going to have to make sure and really let it breathe with this one.
beautiful finish.
Crushed it.
Even that, though, look at, we are toughest critics, and even after making the shot, he still didn't quite like what he was left with, but let's see if he can clean it up. Opting for a save. Has Dom.
Kind of leaves Dom with the same weirdness that he just had a shot ago.
That's what I would have done, and that's what Dom just nailed.
Awesome execution.
Now here again, looks like probably a good side cut here. Oh no, back bank again. Maybe the double. Oh. Remember now, for folks at home, luck does count. Players are required to sink the balls in numerical order. However, which pocket the ball lands in is fortunately not as much of a factor. Brian tucked up against the rail here, only forced to really make contact with the top of the cue ball. That doesn't stop him though. locks in game 4 on our race to 7 with Dominic, our host, and Brian,
Hope I get warmed up in time here.
owner of this wonderful space here. That he's
We'll
allowing
make for a
us to
long
gather
shark
and
attack match.
Enjoy this game.
Well, if I know you,
Give
I've played
these
you
guys-
enough. You've been down this many times that I come back and stomp my face in.
Yeah,
Goes
again,
both
big
ways,
It
thanks
man.
does,
to
no, it does. But I've seen
It's a
it.
beautiful game.
It is frustrating and awesome all at the same time.
big thanks to Brian Trudeau of Trudeau Automotive for hosting us here with our season finale. He's a guy who's currently playing against Dom here in our open swim. Pretty decent spread on the table, but yeah, we're real thankful for having people that are pushing this game of pool out to and giving a platform out to people in our area that want to improve, that want to connect. Very thankful for that. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I've actually been out of town. Nathan here, I've been a longtime resident of Washington and, now live in Oakland for work. And so it was actually some unfortunate news to hear that Malakis is actually no longer here in Tacoma anymore. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, just about a year ago now, closed down. Super disappointing. They had the APA Pool League at Tacoma was there every Wednesday night. A lot of the friendly faces that we're seeing here tonight were frequenting that.
Beautiful heated table there as well. Sort of evading me the type of table now at this moment, but it was actually myself and Dom that put it there about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Nathan, a.k.a. Cosmo, here with us in the commentary booth. One of the original employees of Clean Slate. It was like 10 years ago, right?
Wow, 13 years.
13, Dom says.
Yeah, man. We, Dom and I met at a restaurant here in town, Primo Grill. He was a server, and I was a cook just out of culinary school, and hit it off and shared a love for the game. I actually, got my love of the game from my godparents that owned a table in their house in the basement, and that's always where you would find me while Mom and all of them were visiting.
That's awesome. I never knew that was your pool origin.
Yeah, so it was, again, very nice to find someone that shared the game and, in fact, was able to teach me so much. I can definitely say many, many, many hours spent getting my, ass handed to me down in that basement. Luckily, his partner at the time was a wonderful cook, and I was able to enjoy some fine nachos in the waiting room.
I remember those fine nachos. We were celebrating a holiday or something. It was the first night that I met Dom.
Only way to celebrate a holiday is with a nice plate of nachos, if you ask me.
As far as I'm concerned, extra cheese, extra jalapenos, please. Spice it on up.
Oh, thank you.
Still was a great shot for 3 ball.
And it sure is. Push-ups.
Yeah! That 20?
10 push-ups.
Oh,
You heard that
man.
right, folks. One of our other
That's how
very
you
famous
stab,
house
man. That's what
rules.
I need. I need more push-ups because I need to get stronger if I'm
Finally
launching balls
happened.
over the damn table.
Go.
All season
One,
long.
Mississippi. 2. Wait, did somebody say 1 again? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Let me see that tummy touch the ground, bro. Come on
10.
now.
Missing ball in hand. Okay, you try it now. Your turn.
That's right. A healthy mind and a healthy body makes for a strong pool player. So we like to
That could
keep
be the
in mind
momentum swing I
all the
needed.
time.
Yeah, it's because of my upper body strength is why I launched in the first place. Now we're trying to get me stronger. I ain't the only one. You can't write
Duff
that
Curry with
shit.
the wrist, nothing but net right into the corner pocket, and Dom hits the ground and gives us 10 more.
I believe you call that instant karma. We haven't had a single push-up foul
The
all
great
season long,
equalizer.
and we just in our season finale had 2 in a row. That's
Give the people a
unbelievable
show.
to me.
What's that? Yeah.
Okay, one more time. One more time.
I think we may be shooting the wrong shot here, folks. Right back into the pocket.
Nope, I wanted to be right about not there though.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I gotta. Now I can't hold it for the 6 ball.
Well, I'm still a little winded, so take your time.
Okay, give me a minute.
Could have sworn I stroked that right. All right.
Dom's feeling tenacious. We're probably gonna have to see a short table back here, off the rail, the cue ball, and back into the 5, or is he gonna just try and give it a little kiss and play it safe? Let's see. Oh, and option number 3, Tori pulls out the jump cue. Here we go. Keep it on the table. No more push-ups, good sir.
Well, that's too good,
Wonderfully
man.
Executed.
I can't hang with your stuff.
Executed.
Man. Thought I was gonna hit the 7. Tough to follow up jump shots sometimes,
No,
you know.
you
You
get
go
the
for the
blood-
make and hope
Well, yeah,
for the
because you
lead.
get the blood flowing and you got all excited because you made an excellent shot.
Who had the over?
I'm gonna go talk to him out there. Make sure they go until 6. I'm gonna use that.
Nice out. Sam, I see your leg jabbering like you got chips on the line. What's going on over there? Are you on the hill? What is that, 5?
No, I think I got 5. 5-1.
5-1. You guys ought to be drawing the names pretty soon, I suspect.
Hey, what's up, Lash?
See, that's my struggle with the break. A lot of times you miss that and you get on the head side of that side pocket with the 1 ball in. The
And it-
1 ball winds up hanging around that logo in your cue ball center table.
Yeah, that's why you gotta try to, you aim the, if you're basically breaking from that side, you're aiming the cue ball right about here. So that way when it comes off, it's gonna hit above the pocket and go down there. Which mine did, but I didn't get a good enough hit on it. Plus you gotta draw it back into here a little outside to bring it back in the center of the table.
I'm with you.
Ideally, I mean, I'm yet to successfully complete that every single time, so it's a work in progress.
Sometimes the layer of thinking required in this game feels almost similar to chess. Several moves down the road. So it's not just get the object ball into the pocket. It's where do I place that cue ball afterwards? Seeing the
A little
path,
too
and
much
really
spin.
planning the roadmap. Between each ball numerically until you hopefully get yourself all the way up to the cheddar. Good attempt there. Had to get a little mass egg shot and try and curve that cue ball around. Look at that, ends up getting rewarded with a pretty strong safety, actually. Dom lining it up. Looking like he's going to go for the cue ball to bank off the table there and into the side. Not quite.
Close.
Come on. Pick one.
Dom sinks that one and gets himself in a position here that will actually. Oh, not quite. Sometimes when the ball, your object ball that you're going for is that close to the 9, you can try and send the cue ball into it and hopefully give it a little movement on the 9 there. Remember, luck does count in the game of 9 ball.
Seven ball's in a weird spot.
I know. I do.
It's another one you got to skip that pocket, you know?
Tough bank shot. Gets it to go. Tough look at the 8. Far away from it. The object ball's up on the rail. It's going to take some real stees to get this to go where he wants it to go and get good shape.
Going for the long tail bank. Cue into the object ball and ooh. Need a little bit more right-hand English there to widen that angle on the low exit there.
Yeah, that's tough. We saw him line up, looking at the mirror technique, trying to see where that 8 ball would be on the other side of the table, imagining that they've got 2 tables up next to each other, and he came really, really close. Unfortunately, just left it easy for Brian to clean up here.
Players at this level, like I said before, if you guys beat these guys, 3 balls or less on the table, they're almost sure to run out. That's what these guys are drilling day in and day out, So
Exactly. Especially for Brian, who plays here on this exact table regularly. The noise, the people around him are not bothering him like they were saying earlier. They're typically playing with their kids in the room, running around playing with toys. He's got customers in the shop.
Exactly, yeah, here in the shop, customers, all the above.
Jimmy's not here?
Jimmy is not here.
Hold on, yeah, for sure he's not here.
Most important. And funniest looking.
We're getting word from the HQ.
Brian's on hill. You guys
Jimmy's
got the
not
names
here.
all drawn up and everything?
Copy that.
Oh, boy, that was bad.
What up, Dom?
How you doing, man?
Good, dude. Thanks for
Lost
the
the
invite.
rock.
I'm down 6-1.
Big thanks to everybody out in the chat room watching and for your kind words and supporting.
Is that really my shot?
Dude, I almost scratched. It's bad.
Can I push?
Yeah.
Really would mean a lot to us. Anyone out there that wants to help support what we're doing a little bit more, there's a share button or a retweet button, depending on where you're watching us today. And a little share on social media goes a long way to help us spread this, the word about this game that we love and spotlight some of the awesome talent that we have here in the Puget Sound area. So for those of you that are sharing the live stream and telling your friends about us, we can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for your support.
Can go either way. and you gotta know how far to push it.
Yeah, absolutely. Try and get him to bite on it. It's like explain to him where I wanted to be, and I was like, well, I wanted to be a little closer in case you were going to turn it over, and I could, I got a pretty good long mid-table jump game, and I was like, well, he's pretty tall, and you jump real well too. So it's like, I didn't even think he's probably going to take it.
Right.
Kind of how the push goes. It's a little out of control right here. Got lucky.
Beautiful shot at the 4 there by Dominic. Just easing it right into the side pocket. Make sure that cue ball doesn't roll away any farther from the 5 than it needs to. That one was a tough one though, because off that 5, you were definitely at risk of the cue ball going into the side pocket. So he did the best he could and actually even got a little bit of. You got Brian tucked behind the 8 there. Oh, we can still see it. Beautiful.
Nice shot.
Good turnaround there. Good momentum gainer. He's got the 6
Try to
in
hit
his
that
sights.
softly.
I knew that was going to happen. That's such a bad shot. So I tried to put enough English on it to get it out of there. Oh, I'm over here hoping. That's a bad place to be.
Pretty strong looking run here for Brian. Good look at the 9 in the
Luke,
corner.
pay the man.
Drills it.
Good job, man.
Good shooting, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having
job.
us all over, man.
Oh, no problem. Let's get it started.
Yeah.
We got a party to have.
I know. Part of me, I hate to make excuses, but in my own defense, I think I let a little wind out of the sails and eased off because I'm excited about getting this tournament going. I don't want to have drag that out any longer.
No, I get it.
Eric's over here, the clock doctor. He's going to draw the names out of a red cup.
A red cup.
Red cap.
A symbol of party time where I come from.
Uh-oh, there's one more late name coming in. Jesse, are you running the board over there? Do it. You got to put the names on when he calls them out. Everybody, we're doing a raffle style, so there's numbers on the raffle tickets. Everyone's got the tickets in their pockets, tickets in their hands. Pull those out. Eric's going to call a number. If your number matches, then you get to fight for some money on the tournament. I don't know if we've done the math and found out what the total is going to be, but we'll find that out before too long, and we'll get right after it. Brian, I'm going to ask for a little bit of your help because you've got a lot of expertise in running tournaments around here, I understand.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
help us keep all these yahoos in line and on time with Eric, because
Let's get
he's
those-
only one man.
Okay, let's get the board started, and once we get the board going, I'll sign people.
All right, it's you, me, Matt Wells, because it's his birthday, Jesse, because he's the star of the season, my brother, Austin. You want to put $10 in and play? Dude, get a raffle ticket. Get a raffle
It's
ticket.
now or never, Austin.
Go talk to Matt Wells back there.
Do you still need my mic on?
Yeah.
Working out the last second details. You'd think in a race to 7 that these guys would have plenty of time to do that, but it is a classic pool player tradition to like get ready for the
Yeah, I
match
was about
and then step out and need
was about
something
to
else
say,
to do.
All right, well, Eric's going to call.
Thank you so much for coming and thanks for your contributions to what we got going on around here. We'll see you on Tuesday night.
Hey, can we bunch up?
Have a great day, Cliff. You too.
All right, so Eric's going to draw some names, and Dom and Brian are going to switch off calling out who was our first person that we drew in the tournament.
Tough
Awesome.
field already.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. All right, Brian, you want to call our second one out?
Next number 815385.
That's
Oh,
Joe. How do we
Debbie
know
Rose.
that? No, I think that's Debbie.
Is that Jimmy or Debbie?
Oh, you're right. You're right. She's right. No, she's right.
So it's Jimmy?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
she's 86. 86.
She sure is.
Okay.
All right, so Dom.
What about 815384?
Oh,
All right, we got Roland in on the tournament.
Roland. ROLAND.
Spells relief.
All right, the fourth of 5 spots goes to
390.
390.
Oh, Sam!
Hey, we've got
You
Sam.
said, oh, like you missed it by
Excellent.
one number.
Last and final spot.
Make sure.
He's like, oh, I got it.
All right, everybody, this is the last and final spot.
Weird duck.
Final spot, here we go.
It's killing me. 815386.
Hey, who is it?
It's Debbie, 86.
Awesome.
There you have it, guys.
All right.
That's a pretty even way to
Bananas.
fill. Let's see how you're all going to fare up.
Dom,
Give us
can you
a-
run us down that list one more time? Let's just hear all
Absolutely.
the
Let me
names
take
that
a
we've got
look here.
here.
We've got me,
There's our strokes,
Eric,
Jeff.
Jesse, Matt,
I don't know if you saw it happen
Brian,
in warm-up
Jeff,
just
Jimmy,
now, but I pretty
Roland,
much-
Sam, and Debbie. Those are all going up on the board. We're going to figure out who seeds up against who, and we'll be back in just a bit.
Awesome. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we're going to have our season finale tournament live here at Trudeau Automotive on Sharky Waters, The Night Dive.
couple of these matchups here for you. First two, on the TV table, we're going to have Jeff Jerome versus our host, Dom McHenry. And then over on our back table, we're going to have Sam against Roland. The winner of Sam and Roland looks like is going to play Brian. And then we have Jimmy and Eric as our next matchup. The winner of Jeff and Dom is playing Debbie. And then we have for our last matchup, myself versus Matt Wells. Looks like some pretty good matchups. I think Jeff Jerome might be the strongest one in the field Fargo-wise right now, facing off against our fearless host. Solid break. He almost lined up the cheese right there. Let's see what he goes for. He might opt for a save. Combo the 9, cross bank the 1. He's got a number of options. It was a good attempt, but he sold the farm. That's good speed.
It is. Jesse, why don't you do us a quick favor here and run us down the rules? This is not the usual Shark Attack rules here.
Normally we have on our Shark Attack a race to 7, so I know we've shortened that format given that we have a larger field. So we're going to do a race to 3 on the A side and B side and see who faces off in the final. And we're going to have the final as a race to 7, I believe, instead of the double dip. So we're going to have a Shark Attack for the final finale. Other than that, we still have our regular 9-ball rules. Balls must be shot out in sequence. I think this might be makeable. Good try, but he kind of punched it a little bit. Excellent shot, Dom. Excellent shot.
Now you'll notice our lower third here on the screen is set up for the usual Sharky Waters TV colored balls, but we're playing with a regular set tonight. So just pay attention to the numbers, as those colors are a little offset for a different set of balls.
I can't tell you how long it took me to get used to those pastel colors.
I've really, I've come to become comfortable with them now because we play with them so much on the show. And now, honestly, it's the normal colors that are throwing me off. Good slow roll, that 8 in the side pocket. Good look on the 9 here.
That was a strong out by Dom. He ran from the 5 out, but man, he had excellent control of that cue ball all the way through. Dom's right on that one.
Yeah. Dom talking about the pressures of this tournament with only three losses as opposed to 7 before you're in the B and then before you're out. Really not a lot of room for error here. Plus with some side betting going on, the pressure of winning the tournament, it's really a lot at stake for the players here tonight.
Jeff left himself a nice angle to get back for that 3. Does that 5 ball go by that 7 ball? It must.
Great speed on that hit.
Nice shape on the 6 to get over to the 7.
Just smooth, calculated shots. Really enjoying Jeff's game here. Great out by Jeff. Last game, Dom says, hey, how about I take the lead? And Jeff says, hey, how about I tie it back up? Can see our guys throwing more chips on the table here. Betting heavy on this game. Puts our TV match tied up at 1-1 here. Jeff will get the next break.
Let's see, Jeff had a big break last time. Let's see what it's like this time. Still a heavy break. Makes that wing ball no problem. Does he have shape on the 1?
Can be tough to tell on that overhead cam. We've got the little bit of fisheye on the lens there to make sure we fit the whole table in frame.
Decides to roll out. Nice choice. Did he leave an edge for that one? Two-way. For those viewers at home, we usually typically refer to a two-way shot as an offensive shot where you know if you don't make the ball, you're going to be safe anyway and not leave the opponent with a clear path at the object ball. Going airborne. Good shot. Oh, man. You better keep it out, maybe. Oh, no. Looks like he has a clear path at that 2-ball. Just gonna draw back through that window for the 3-ball. Between the 5 and the 7. Ooh. Got fancy. What a stroke. Try slow roll this 5. Ooh. Second prize, he got safe. good break, good cut break. He made that one ball in the side pocket, but he lost Whitey a little bit. Jeff opts for the safe. That was a good shot by Dom. Those shots are daunting whenever I take them. You got a ball right next to it and you gotta just squeeze past. Jeff didn't like the angle getting back for the 5, so he opts for the save. Again, you leave Jeff tough on that 4 ball.
Jeff gets that 4 in the corner. Meanwhile, on our secondary table here, we just saw Roland get a tough 8 ball in the corner pocket. Made it look really easy.
Fantastic cut shot by Jeff on that 4 ball. Ended up straight on the 5, but I feel like he can get moderate shape of it on that 6 to get back up table for that 7 ball. He might just have to stop shot right there and accept his leave. Lets his cue ball loose. Oh, that's the dangers with letting your cue ball loose, folks.
Tough scratch there for Jeff. And with so little left on the table, hard to imagine this game going any other way. Tying it up. Hill match here on the TV table.
Twosies.
Little switcheroo here in the commentary booth. We're joined by Brian Trudeau. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm pretty good. How are you, man?
Doing really well, man. Enjoying this a lot.
Got two good shooters here. Jeff gave up that last game with a great shot off the 7 ball, but just got unlucky in that side pocket, which gobbled it up. And he was going to get a shape on that 8 ball, too. That's just really unfortunate. So, opening shot here is going to be pretty tough. That 1 ball's got a long way to go. And a big old 2 ball in the way. I think he's going to get lucky. Yep, he's going to get good. It's about as good as you can hope for in an opening shot like that. So, best play here is probably just play safe back and just try to get Dominic hooked on some. Which he does pretty good. Still leaves an opening for the kick at the 1. But Dom's really got to control the cue ball here because that 1 ball is either going to go in the pocket or it's going to rattle and hang. So he's got to make sure that cue ball. Oh, he went the other direction. That was way off. Oh, that 9 ball got so bad. Off a little safety battle right off the bat for the Hill match. These all their tokens here, they're betting on this game. All their big action on this game. Oh, that was a gay hit. Yo, that's too good. But he's hooked on the 2. Looks like we're going to be kicking at the 2 again. But the thing is, on this game here, as soon as one person gets a wide open shot, strong chance it's over. So we're basically racing to get a clean shot or get ball in hand. Big upset if Dom takes Jeff Jerome out. Jeff is very good. I think he's got a shot. If Jeff doesn't play good safe here, Dom is going to have either a clean shot at something or a chance to play a better safety. Dom can pop his ball in the corner pocket. He comes back down with he's got a shot to the side and he's on his way up. I don't know, is that 5 ball in the way? Only saving grace on this shot is there's a lot of green. Looks like you got there. Nope. I think he overstroked that ball a little bit. Because now from the 4 to the 5 is going to be pretty tough. He's got, if he force follows it and run up the rail, he's got the hit pretty firm, which tightens that pocket up. But it's Jeff Jerome, so he could do it. If he gets on his 5 ball, it's pretty much done. The level of difficulty of the shot's pretty high. So another strategy that 9-ball players play is like in a situation like this, if you really have real no way to hit the object ball, instead of giving up ball in hand by missing the ball, Dominic could tie up a couple balls here and slow Jeff's run. He might not do that though. He opted for the kick. But that is another strategy that sometimes we employ is just to purposely hit the wrong ball and tie it up with another one. So when he does get ball in hand, he's got to figure out a way to break out that cluster, which could significantly increase your chance of getting back to the table. Dom opted for a kick, which could have worked. He might roll up forward, cut the 6 in, and get around the table for the 8 ball in the top left corner. A lot of viewers see the screen. But this is the key shot for the run out. So all he's got to do is put that 6 ball in the corner, use a little draw to come off the long rail around the 8, and we should be seeing this come to conclusion. Jeff Jerome's got that stroke. Nice job, Jeff Jerome.
There it is, strong finish by Jeff.
Oh man, he was flirting with that side pocket. And just to be clear on that one, that last rack, Dominic had some extremely difficult shots, so he really didn't get a chance to really try to run out. So that was really unfortunate for Dom in that one, because Dom fought with him 2-2. Go hill with Jeff Jerome, no small feat. So good job, Dom.
All right, as our secondary table is getting wrapped up, one of our contestants here is updating the board. Jeff moves ahead, knocked Dom out, unfortunately. Next up is Jeff will be matching up against Eric. Roland and Sam are finishing on the secondary table. All right, we're getting set up for our follow-up match here. My mistake. It looks like actually Eric is up against Jimmy next. So that'll be our next battle here on the TV table. It looks like Sam is racking up for the last round between her and Roland. We'll find out who the winner is there shortly. Eric wins the lag. He will break. Looks like that 4 goes in the pocket for Eric that time. One just sitting duck in that corner there, but he's got a lot of object balls between them. Awesome kick there for Eric, but unfortunately he clipped the 9 a little bit, so he hands ball in hand over to Jesse. Jimmy. A lot of J's here. Jesse, Jimmy, Jeff, Jerome.
Yeah, there it is actually. That's a lot. So,
Back in the booth with us, our friend Brian Trudeau again. Brian, make sure we get up nice and close on that mic so everyone can hear your beautiful baritone.
is that better?
Well, that sounds great. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. So Jimmy had a tough shot on his 3-ball, and he got very lucky on this roll, tucking in by the 9. This is kind of one of those racks again we saw with Jeff and Dom. As soon as somebody gets a clean shot, or this could be a nice little run. That's the thing about 9-ball, is that once you start getting the feel and hang in the cue ball control 9-ball and 10-ball, any rotation game, it becomes like clockwork at some point, where you're just making balls and you know how to get from one place to the next. And it's very seldom that you'll get in a position where you have to make a really tough, real good stroke shot. There it is.
Speaking of tough shots,
Yeah.
Eric opts for the jump, gets a solid contact with a 3, but unfortunately scratches. He'll hand
Yeah, that's a tough break.
ball in hand back over to Jimmy.
Those jump shots, those are very useful tools to jump a ball, but man, it is tough to keep control of that cue ball. I mean, once you launch it in the air, it's pretty much you've given up, every bit of your control to physics. It's a very interesting shot selection. I figured that the side pocket would have been easier to control the cue ball back to the 4, or for the 5-ball down to the side in the corner. But here we are. Eric should have a nice easy pot into the side pocket with a 3-ball, and leave him in good shape on the 5 to have a good angle so he can come back up table for the 6. Just like that. And if he just rolls this 5-ball in, the cue ball will naturally come back up the table so he can put the 6-ball in the other corner pocket. He cooked that one a little bit. Still got a shot. Just made it a little bit more difficult. And that's a thing too. You got to keep in mind, even though the balls look easy to pot, it's the cue ball control that becomes a little more difficult. On this particular shot, he made a good pocket, and the cue ball was on line for the correct shape. He just overcooked it a little bit, and now he left him with a 7-foot 6-ball shot that he drains like a pro.
Makes it look easy though.
Mm-hmm. But the goal of all these games is to make every shot, your next shot, super easy. If you can, in theory, it doesn't always work out like that. But the easier you keep them, the easier the run-out becomes. So Eric needs to lay off the bench press. He's cooking these balls. The thinner the cut, the less speed you got to put on the cue ball. Well, he made the 8, and now he's got a tough cut on the 9. It's doable. It's really doable. And I think the tangent line takes him away from that side pocket, so he's got a pretty tough cut. But this shot is makeable, and I think he can do it. It takes his time. And so Jimmy's going to take a stab at this 2-ball here. Runs it just a little wide of the pocket. But I think he's
I'm over
going to
here on
get
the
safe.
sidelines with Jeff Jerome, giving a hug. Feeling love, bro.
So Jimmy got a little lucky on that 2-ball. He missed really well. And now Eric's got to get around, negotiate the 7-ball to get to the 2. If he can get to the 2, I think a good hit here would suffice and send the 2 down on the backside of the table and leave the cue ball up there. Well, so let Jimmy a look at it. Jimmy can pot this ball, but I think that 6-ball is going to get in the way of getting back to the 4. I think a good play right here would be just another save to get the cue ball down table and the 2-ball in the end rail. Jimmy's going to go for a bank. Come up just a little short of that side pocket. Really no pocket for the 2-ball here. He can cut it into past the 4, but then he's got no shape for the 4, and that's just too difficult to draw. And that side pocket's going to get real big for that cue ball if he tries to cut it. I think we're going to see another safety on this 2-ball here. Both players just trying to get ball in hand with a safety, or at least make the other kick at it to. Oh, that was a great shot. But just like I said, trying to hold that cue ball on that is going to be pretty tough. So Eric is now kicking at the 4-ball again. Or not again, but now kicking at the 4-ball. Kicking again. He's got the long kick off the end rail, which is what I think he was going to do here. This is a very small ball to hit. And he got it. Good job. Okay. So Jimmy comes to the table. We're going to see what he's going to do with this 4-ball. Side pocket looks good all the way down. Cue ball come up for the 6-ball in the corner. He got it. All right. Jimmy can get this 6-ball to the 7. I think he's out. shade on the outside corner. Strike one. But once again, Jimmy got a roll, and now we got no pocket for that 6 ball. Well, no pocket that makes any sense anyway. Float it past the 7. Is he gonna get there? Get there, 6 ball. Oh, that's heartbreaking. But he did get safe on the 7. He's got a long shot. The 6 ball is hanging, but he's got to get around that 7. So he can either masse it, or he can try to come off the inside corner and try to clip it in. But then he's going to lose that cue ball. Yep, and that cue ball is gone. And hopefully he doesn't land behind that 9 ball. That is the danger of those hanging pockets. When you hit at the cue ball, it's hard to keep that cue ball from going everywhere. All right. The 7 ball does pass. So this is going to require either some force follow with some outside English. He's got to get that cue ball back down to the other half of the table. We want to make this 8 ball shot as easy as he can into the 7. There we go. Nice little draw. Come around the corner. He's got a good angle to come up on the 2 rails. Looks like he's gonna. Yep. Well, he went 1 rail. So see if Eric can train this cut shot. Oh no, and he's gonna sell out. That is unfortunate. Well, Jimmy makes quick work with that easy 9 ball. But that goes to show you that it's very important to control that cue ball to make every shot easy. But when it gets down to the money ball, that money ball makes it just a little bit tougher. Even if you've made that shot 100 times on every other ball, it makes it just a little bit tougher.
Especially with the added, stress and pressure of tournament play and having money on the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the pressure, it's one of the things you have to deal with if you want to get good at tournaments is you just have to learn. I mean, there's people that ask me, I see a Facebook post the other day of, how do you play pool without emotion? And I say, you don't. Emotion is what drives you. Emotion is what keeps you coming back. Emotion is what makes you hungry to win. You don't play without emotion. You learn to control it and focus it. And that's a skill that can transfer over into your life. You know, how do you, because you can't get away from your emotions. You're not a robot. I mean, you can't be a cyborg. But when you're playing tournament play and you know that you're on the money ball and you got a little funny, you start telling yourself things like, oh, this is a hard shot. Oh my gosh, how did I get here again? And you got to start training yourself to think that, okay, none of that matters. I'm here now. And I've made this shot. I mean, Eric's made that shot on that 9 ball hundreds of times. But when it's the 9 ball and you're in a tournament, you start talking to yourself, and that's when you start getting your head out of the game. That was great. That was a very nice shot. So no, you need to play with emotion. Emotions are very important, and you just got to learn to control them so they don't control you. And another thing is people think emotions as far as getting angry and frustrated. It's also the elated emotions you get when you make a great shot or jump a ball and make a great jump shot. And then you get back to the table and you're all worked up. You got to learn to calm those down too. Even though they're good emotions, quote unquote, they're still emotions, and they'll cause you to rush a shot, the next shot, or something like that. So unfortunately, after Eric's amazing cross bank 1 ball, he didn't really get great shape on the 2 ball. So Jimmy takes a stab at it.
Ooh, narrowly cleaned it up too.
Yeah, he almost got that. And Jimmy is missing too good today. Jimmy is getting all the rolls. So this is a very difficult shot because that side pocket will get real big if he mishits this, and he'll scratch on the side. So there we go.
I really like what you were saying about controlling your emotions, quote that my uncle used to tell me growing up. When I was really struggling with that as a kid, he used to always just remind me, no one really can control your emotions but you. People can control the tides around you, but it's up to you to choose how you react and
Right.
And how long you decide to react in that way.
Right. It's all conscious decisions. It's very true. The only person controlling your emotions is you. And it's amazing how if you listen to our inner dialogue and a lot of human beings in general, and how just negative we are to ourselves of how
oh yeah,
it's like, would you talk to another human being like that? If you wouldn't, then don't do it to yourself. We all give ourselves a pass because, I'm talking to myself. Well,
absolutely. Or even for that matter, would you let someone else talk to you that way?
Right,
And
exactly.
the
That's a good
answer,
point.
I'm sure would be no.
Unequivocally, no. So don't talk to yourself like that, and you'll be amazed on how better your mood is when you decide to say, hey, I'm not going to beat myself up. If I miss a shot, if I miss a save, I'm going to learn from it, but I'm not going to tell myself I'm a terrible pool player, or, oh my God, I suck and I shouldn't be here, and all this craziness we tell ourselves. Nice shot, Eric.
That was really nice.
So that's a big part of pool, because people say the mental game, quote unquote. Well, that's pretty a broad statement. Let's be more specific. The mental game meaning use your emotions to fuel your drive to want to win, but don't allow them to overcome your good sense and logic. Channel them, and then you'll see the best players. I watched Shane Van Boening, one of the most calm, cool, and collected guys in pool I've ever seen in my life, but he drains that final 9 ball for the win, and you see him explode with, just emotion,
Yeah.
So it's, even though Ralph Souquet is a man that I'd like to emulate, because I wear my emotions on my sleeve in the pool game, and I like to be more like Ralph Souquet. Ralph Souquet, in my opinion, has the best poker face I've ever seen. The man could miss an easy shot and act like it's just no big deal on a Sunday afternoon, and it's for the finals, for him it's 20 grand, and he's like, yeah, I missed, and he doesn't let anything come out in the open, and that's a very strong. That tip probably took him years. I mean, if we talked to that man, I bet you he would tell us when he was young that he used to get angry and frustrated and slam his stick down like we all do. But now he's totally cool, calm, and collect. But make no mistake, even those guys at the pro level who look like cyborgs when they're playing pool, there's a raging inferno of emotion going on over there that we just don't see because they've learned the mental game. It's not just about potting balls. It's not just about learning bank shots, not learning about always about cue ball control and running out. You have to control the raging inferno inside of all of us that is what we were born with. We all come stock with these emotions, and you have to learn how to channel them. And I think pool is a great way to teach people that, and that has transferred into my regular life too, about how to, if you really want to be efficient and good, the emotions do nothing for efficiency. That was an excellent shot, Eric. Very good. That is perfect shape.
I think a big takeaway from everything you're saying for some of the beginner pool players is maybe that it's, not to expect yourself to have positive emotion 100% of the time, but those times when you do have those moments of frustration or you're feeling, the feelings that come across with missing a shot or losing a game or whatever, is to really take that feeling and harness it into grinding to improve your game further, and to really recognize at what point did your emotion go sideways, how did that affect your game, and really just learn from those moments, because like you said, we can't all be cyborgs, and that means that we're going to make some mistakes in this approach, in this goal of controlling our emotions too, and that's okay. And you just got to take one step further every day with it. Right.
And the other thing is too, is when people get frustrated, frustration is just a cover-up feeling for a deeper feeling, which I have found to be, speaking from personal experience and from looking and observing other people, what it really comes down to is embarrassment. If you miss a shot, you become embarrassed, and that is very vulnerable to feel, and you don't want people to know that, so you get angry because that's a more powerful feeling. So a lot of it has to do with, if people are watching, and even if you think that you should make a shot or get shape or whatever, and you don't, you feel embarrassed a lot of the times. And it's just, you start thinking about that. And is this really something I should be embarrassed by? I mean, it's because I'm human, And
Wait.
you really got to battle with yourself on that.
Totally. And while I would normally say, like, don't hold yourself to comparisons with other people, I think contrasting rather than comparing, like, in that moment of feeling that embarrassment, a little bit of shame, along with the frustration, you just got to think, you know, if that was one of your friends that
Yeah.
had missed that shot, would you feel like they were justified in that embarrassment? Like, from your perspective, you would think, like, it's totally cool to miss
Right,
a shot. You
but-
don't have to worry about it. And
Right.
to hold yourself to that as well, I think is a healthy state of mind to be in.
Unrealistic expectations.
Exactly.
Right. And so, and I'm going to tell you right now, my game has significantly improved when I started not accepting myself to talk to myself like, you know, you're terrible, or oh my God, how could you miss that? You know, and stop beating myself up. It's amazing when you get back to the table that you're not just your head's just not completely screwed up because you just verbally abused the crap out of yourself when you're sitting in your chair.
Absolutely.
Yep, you gotta take it easy on yourself.
You play in your Tuesday tournaments with Clara. She's played a few games. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, Claire was here last night. She comes and makes an appearance every once in a while.
She, in terms of someone who uses their words really carefully to control the outcome of their emotions and stuff. She does that at a pro level.
Oh yeah, she's had lots of experience. I mean, if you look, I mean, she's what, 70-some years old. She's been around the block several times, so
Yeah.
she's learned quite a bit in her years, and you know, she believes in the Great Spirit, which is, you know, you can call God a Great Spirit or whatever you like, but she believes in, you know, all of peace and harmony, and it shows. I mean, when her energy, when she comes in the room, I mean, you can't not but smile. I mean, everybody
Absolutely.
loves Clara, and there's a reason for that. Is because she's gotten her interpersonal soul or vibe or energy in a harmonious sync with the universe around her. And she understands what she can control and what she can't, and she realizes if she misses a ball or doesn't win, that she's not a terrible pool player or a terrible person in general. And she just gives it her best and gets back at it and does it again. And she's one of the most loved people, not just in pool, but I've ever met, just by everyone that's come in contact with her.
Absolutely. She even went as far to say, after she had failed to pocket one of the balls, she said, you know, I prefer not to say that I missed because that's too negative. I shot the ball and the outcome was different than what I intended.
Yeah, she's...
And those little idiosyncrasies,
Yeah.
I think, really add up.
It's
over
all
the course
perspective.
of-
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't help but smile because she's not wrong. It's exactly right. So, no, it's but this game, I mean, I really have fallen in love with this game because it's just so, there's so many dynamics to it. And when we were talking with Dominic out here, and I tell a lot of new pool players, because I meet a lot of new people, men and women, who have, you know, they ask me what I do, and, you know, or how did I get so good at pool, and, you know, this and that. And I'm like, well, stop thinking of it as a game, you know, and start thinking of it as a skill. You know, just like everything else, you know, if you, at your job, like I'm a mechanic by trade, right? That's not a game to me. That's how I feed my family. That's how I make my money. This is a skill I need to take seriously.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, none of us are going to make a living playing pool. Let's be clear. But it is something we're all passionate about. And if you have passion for it, it's worth your effort to be the best you can. You know, and in this game, and the reason why I like it is because you can never be good enough. You really can't. There's always going to be someone better than you. And there's always going to be a way you can be better. So there's never a finish line. You always have to keep working at it.
Yeah. A journey rather than a destination.
Oh, yeah. There's no finish line. And as soon as you think you're at the finish line, you're already wrong. Oh, Eric got hooked on that 8-ball.
Great quote from one of my favorite basketball players, Blake Griffin. He always talked about that you got to fall in love with the process of becoming great rather than just the outcome of becoming great.
Right.
And if you truly love the process, then the joy will never end.
Right. And then, and then during that process, if you're focused on the process of getting better, you'll automatically get better. You don't have to focus on being better. Just focus on the next step. And then suddenly you'll look up and you're beating people that you never thought you could beat in whatever sport or arena or whatever the hell you decide to play or do. Just focus on the next step in front of you. And after a while, you'll look up and you've traveled 10 miles. And people will look at you and say, that guy is good at whatever. Or lady. Sorry, ladies.
Yeah, I'm sure actually a lot of people in the room are feeling that sentiment. Well, Jimmy up on the ropes here a little bit with Eric on the hill, and that speaking of keeping that emotion in check, we can see Eric really focused and a little body language off of some of those missed shots that makes you wonder if maybe a couple misses might be getting to some of our players here tonight.
It does, and especially if you have a couple misses in a row, you start getting that little doubt starts creeping in. It's like, did I remember how to play pool, or am I like just completely retarded here? I'm like, so you got to stick with it and remember that you do know how to play. And a little comment on the back table there. I don't know if both the viewers can see it, but Roland, Mr. Roland, is in a wheelchair and I've watched him back there making some fantastic shots. So. That Roland right there eliminates anybody's excuse for anybody else.
Yeah,
it's like if Roland's out here hitting balls and running out, you really got no excuse, man. So,
yeah, absolutely. And it's a shame that his opening match didn't end up on the TV table because he was really rocking it over there. And I think he just clinched his third victory, winning the set.
I think he got Sam. Yep, he sure did.
Yeah, you can
Sam.
see him hugging it out there in the background. Good job to Roland. We'll
Good
see
job,
him
Roland.
in the next heat. The next wave.
Yep, we'll get him on the TV table. That's another thing. Sam right there in the back table, who was playing Roland, she just picked up a cue stick about 4 or 5 months ago when she was working for me here at the shop doing the books, and she had moved from Seattle and didn't have, she knew nobody down here, and all of her friends were in Seattle. She lived up there for several years, and I said, why don't you come out to the pool hall with me and meet these people and just see if you like it. Just give it a shot. If you don't, that's fine. That's totally fine. Not everybody loves pool. Nice job, Eric. That's a very good job, Eric.
Clinching the victory, Eric winning his first match. Unfortunately, that'll be sending Jimmy to the bench.
Yep. So, and then Sam decided she loved the game, and it's amazing. She has been around me and Dom and Debbie, and she comes to the Tuesday tournaments with all these very, very good players, and she gets in the ring, even though she's brand new, and most of the time gets her butt whipped. And, looks like I'm up, but she sticks with it, and she's having a great time, and she is progressing so fast. It's amazing to watch somebody brand new who's never picked up a cue stick in her life progress as fast as she has. So I think that I'm up is what Dom just said, so I'm going to leave the microphone down. I'm going to go on the TV table to Roland here, and we're going to go ahead and battle it out.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Brian.
All right, guys.
And great job to Eric, and great job to Roland as well. We're going to get our next game going here, putting Brian up on the table. Some serious high-level pool action going on here tonight. This is super exciting. Guess Brian's going to step up to the table and warm up a little bit. We're joined here in the commentary booth by Jeff Jerome. Just won your first game. How you feeling, man?
Pretty lucky.
Debbie.
I don't know if Dom was paying attention to that or not.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Yeah, that's how I was feeling. I said pretty lucky.
Yeah, well, I apologize for my poor frustration and science. I got frustrated there, man. I put a lot of expectation.
Dom's talking about the frustration of expectations of winning and playing a tough player.
Well, when you're playing a match like that, and occasionally you get that one lucky roll, and sometimes that's what it takes to finish out a match. I was playing a safety and wanted to get him down below all the balls and stuff, and get that 4-ball up rail, and I just hit it and got a good roll and got him walked up on that 5-ball to get ball in hand. So.
Yeah, clutch play.
So who do we got here? We got Brian getting ready to play.
Brian warming up for his next match there. Looks like we're still waiting for our tournament admins here to update the bracket. right, so while we're gearing up for our next match here, Eric is going to... We've been taking raffle tickets here for our season finale break pot, and we've got a couple players that didn't make the bracket in the drawing that want to be eligible, so we're going to, between these next matches here, we're going to do our break pot a little bit early so we can make sure that everyone who wanted a chance is still here.
37. Looks like Roland got a good roll on that lag and beat out Brian just by a hair. For $37.
No, it's for all of it.
It's for all of it. It's for whatever's in
It's like
there. plus the-
$230, something like that.
Ticket number 8154008. 408. People bought multiple tickets. They're gone. 408.
Going once, David Lash. Can we get the numbers on the 408?
I'll take his run for him. No, I'm talking. I'll take his ticket for. I can't even see. It's too dark.
All right, we've got the numbers drawn for the break pot here. Jimmy unfortunately couldn't clinch the win on his last match, but he's going to have another shot here to win it all. We've had a couple people come close, but no one yet has won the break pot.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. If I knocked it off or.
No, it's not your bad. It's just
Well, he's got himself a good look at the one ball, had a good break. Let the cue ball get away just a little bit off to the side, but still a makeable one ball.
unlucky.
Short but
Jimmy
sweet.
scratches on the one, thus ending his breakbot career a little earlier than he wanted. Well, there it is. The Breakpot stays with the house this season. Thanks to everybody who played. Thanks to Golden West Games for sponsoring us. Thanks to everybody who put their $10 in. I believe Jeff Jerome still has a piece of paper that says I owe you $10 in there. We're going to see if we can shake him down for that money later today. And Ed Hobbs, I believe, was the gracious donator of a nug of marijuana, which is also in the Breakpot, which will stay with the house as well. We'll see if that's still there at the start of season 2. It might not be.
That's pretty good odds on that one. Rolling off with a good break. He was breaking real good on the Hawthorne table back there earlier. I don't know if you guys spoke about that or were watching that game, but he already won one match to get here. Play Brian. I think Brian beat somebody. Who did he play? I guess Brian got a bye. His first round. He was in here talking with you. How's that guy?
Brian in the commentary booth, you mean?
Yeah.
Super smart fella. We were talking about kind of mental health and emotional health in the pool game and how that transcends into the other aspects of your life and a lot of that discipline that it takes to control your feelings under moments of pressure. It's just a skill that's worth developing for anyone in any field, really.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me one bit that the conversation would evolve that way for both of you guys. You guys are both agencies of like helping me develop. Watch this carom shot. There's a good shot. That's a good shot. Nice shot, Brian. But you guys are both agencies of helping me polish myself into a better person and a better pool player with all of that same dialogue.
You know, it's funny. Most of my interaction with Brian has been in the pool halls and in the pool atmosphere. And before I really got to know the guy, he came across to me as like kind of a hothead. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until we were in a more candid social setting that I realized that he like really is intellectual in Dirty Mechanic's body. Yeah. No offense to you Dirty Mechanics out there. We love you too.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I was sharing a story earlier today about how we were all playing pool in a pool hall in a ring game, and then we turned around, and next thing we knew, Brian was speaking Russian to this guy who was playing by himself, inviting him into the ring game, and we were like, dude, you speak Russian? And he was like, well, I speak several languages. It's just pattern recognition and stuff like that. Like, really subtle about that intelligence level that he carries, too. I think you're like that, too, actually, though.
How so?
You know, I think that you're kind of you've got like an unsung intelligence that's behind you. I don't think, while people may see how many plates you're spinning, I think probably they can't even see how many of they are. You know, they see a lot and they see that you're doing a lot. You're like a huge part of here, what we're doing at Sharky Waters, the development. I'm sitting here watching the pool game, but half of me is watching. You're clicking buttons and switching screens and doing all kinds of stuff as we go. And then to do that and to have a conversation like we're having, it's not like we're just sitting here talking, crayon colors and random, low-level, could be anything, fart joke humor. We're like, high level.
Well, I appreciate that stuff too.
I know you do. I know, and as do I. But we're like ebbing and flowing creatures. And you're a fine example of that, man. You wear many hats and you wear them all finely. It's like super impressive. I'm really lucky to have such good friends. I struggle with myself personally, the element of, and I don't know if you guys talked about the element of competition and camaraderie and the difference in that and how to have the balance between camaraderie while you compete. While I wake up this morning confident and ready to play and excited, and certainly have had this day on my mind for a long time to come out here and shoot well. I'm also like deep in my heart, like it's my desire to be a facilitator and to bring the game to people. I spend my days like working hard. The labor that I do is heavy and hard, and
it's not without fruit being bared, because it really joys me to see everybody here. These people that all love the game, and we're like witnessing. You can see in the background there that there's just all different genders and shapes and colors and races of people here, and we're all just bonding playing this silly game.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to shift gears into that super competitive mode when on the real balance of my life. I'm more of a facilitator than I am a competitor, but I'm working on that. You know, there's some people that I can see them. They clearly have a switch that they can turn on and off, and I'm looking for that in the psychology of my mind. Where is that switch, and how do I get a handle on that through repetition and routine and pattern? Working out in the mornings with you, that kind of stuff. It's like one whole holistic system.
Well, I think well, first of all, I appreciate the kind words, what you were saying. I do work very hard, but I enjoy the work that I get to do here on the show, and I enjoy the game of pool, and so it doesn't really feel a whole lot like work at all. But I think the focus and that kind of switch, or, you know, whatever metaphor you want to use to describe, you know, controlling your emotions and using the feelings that you're experiencing in like a constructive way, I really attribute a lot of my ability to do that stuff from my classical music training as a kid. A lot of that is very like you're learning a technique, and there is a lot of subjectivity to that technique, but it's perceived as something that has a clear, correct, and incorrect way that you can go about it. But for those of us that are like in the actual orchestra, if you will, sight reading the music, learning to play the pieces, there's a lot of emotion and frustration of wanting to play that correctly and having to deal with those things, and the focus of what you yourself are playing and what your conductor of your orchestra is instructing you to do, versus also having to ebb and flow with, you know, 30, 40 plus other musicians that are playing in the orchestra with you, and you know, learning that at a really young age, whether or not I was conscious of it, really just shaped the way that my brain works, the way that I interact with things, the way that I view myself and my contribution to like a larger cause as more of a cog than like as a, you know, like a star athlete would.
I'm seeing that already as you're saying that. There's like many wheels to the machine spinning, and
yeah,
you know, your cog can connect to a lot of different other wheels, be it large ones and small ones. And the pool community is like my family, you know, and I feel like in a lot of ways our friendships are developed in a way that your family, so my family is your family, and you really stepped into that, and from what I understand family to be, that you've got these skills to offer, and that means that you get to offer them out to these people too. It's awesome. Roland rattled that one out there, you can see, and looks like Debbie got a good safety. Hard to tell from the camera angles here, but she's playing Jeff Jerome. That guy's real tough to play. Oh, Brian got a double kiss that he didn't want, man. Yeah, he's gonna give one to Roland here. I tell you what, Roland is a real trooper, man. He's real inspiring about getting out here and getting after it. It's pretty obvious that he's got some disadvantages to the game that you know, he's willing to work through. That's not going to stop him. And who are we to tell him that he can't? You know, he's out here kicking ass on the winner's side. He's further ahead on the bracket than me. He's looking Brian straight in the barrel, sights on his back. Good safety, though.
Tough miss there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, the thing that I love about Roland's game is when you see what he has to do to control the cue and to use his equipment is really techniques that probably 0.1% of pool players on the world have to develop. And so I can imagine from, you know, I'm a teacher for my day job, so I always think about educational perspective, what does it take to learn that? And you got to wonder if like anyone really has paved the way to give that information to a player like Roland for him to be able to play at the level that he does. It's like incredibly impressive.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, he is kind of a leader in the wheelchair leagues and stuff here in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, Brian dogged it. He pulled a Trudeau. That's what we call that. But he didn't do any of those against me, which I was happy to see. It's always nice to see your buddies like fighting through those mental thresholds that they tend to put themselves on. You leave yourself with a tough 9-ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes an easy one, but you make it tough in your head. You got any chips in your pocket? I'll put a chip that he makes this.
I didn't buy in chips. I was plugging in cameras when you guys were doing the betting.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a little side action.
Nice shot.
Side
nice
chip
shot.
action.
Yeah, let me give you some chips, actually, man. You got to get in on this.
Roland, is it too late? Can I buy in? Throw you a couple bucks?
Well, no, yeah. The buy-in never closes, but the closing closes at
fantastic
at the end of the tournament. People can leave early, but then they won't get that money back if they cash in if they give their chips in early. That's how the system goes. Tilton snapped them open in the back. Debbie's over there in her nice sundress, waiting for her turn. You can't see that on the screen, but she's over there. Good break. That little classic wing ball that we all know goes in with the magic rack. This one ball floats off by the side pocket and looks pretty open. You can see it. It's a tough shot.
Yeah. Tell me, Dom, how are you feeling about moving back from playing on the TV set of pool balls here back to the traditional colors?
That was a little weird. The 6-ball is like the real one that gives you trouble. It's like another 8-ball out there. It's real dark.
Yeah. Ooh, nice corner hit
Too
there by Roland.
Good, Roland. I wonder where he wanted to be. If he wanted to come back a little further on the side of the pool table with the 6-ball, exposing himself to the open line on the 2. He's going to have to go off of the rail by the 6-ball now. Oh, he just barely missed it. It's going to be a tough round for Brian, though. We'll see what he does. He's got to get past the 7 and the 9. You see the 5 balls way down table. On the other side, and he got stuck behind the wall here. He's going to go on the 4th dimension. Transcend left and right and forward and backwards and go on and take lift off and go up. Interesting the dichotomies of this because you have to slam the cue down in order to make that happen. You got a good jump, good contact, nice bounce off the slate. Good hit, but left it pretty safe. Roland's going to have to do something clever here with the 3-ball, but I can already tell you Roland's got a real smart brain when it comes to safeties. I think that's part of like working around what you're, I've got a long body. I don't use a bridge very often, and I think Roland's got a couple different ones. And, that goes to show like the innovation and the skill technique. You can see there's like a mass migration happening right here. We'll have to...
Smoke break, surely.
Sure, certainly. Sure, we'll get down to the bottom of whatever that was. Scrambled, though.
It's like when all the kids are playing and something breaks and all of a sudden all the kids are running away from where they were playing earlier.
Yeah.
Suspect.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be in trouble.
Someone did something over there. Someone broke a shop part or something.
Yeah.
I think we're going to... can we switch over to the commentary booth? We'll get these guys in and say goodbye to them. Looks like we got some people leaving, too.
Yeah, big thanks to all our friends for coming here.
Great to see you. Don't work too hard. Give that baby a hug. Yeah, absolutely. Forrest.
And yours too.
Great to see you. Thanks again for showing up. Oh yeah, perfect. I was just talking about how that was likely happening.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, man. We're gonna put them to good action.
Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you in season 2.
Great to see you guys. Drive
Starts
safe.
in September.
Brian just narrowly missed that 3-ball in the corner.
Oh man, and I missed how Roland wound up playing safe through that shot. I was kind of curious how he was going to do that. Chatty Cathy, that's me, talking to my friends and saying goodbyes,
Well, it's tough. You got to wear a lot of hats here.
yeah, speaking of wearing a lot of hats, I'm trying to host here. I'm trying to play here. I'm trying to just be a friend, hanging out with all my friends here.
Yeah.
In some kind of ways, I do see myself as like a co-producer of this thing with you, as I see you as a co-host with me. But we're like concerned about the content and concerned about how the show is coming across for the audience as well. Always thanking everybody for contributing and helping and sharing and liking and joining us in the chat rooms.
Yeah, for sure. It's all a lot to think about. We've had a lot of fun and a lot of successes and a lot of hard lessons learned running this show for this first season here. And obviously tonight is our season finale, so we'll be off for a couple weeks through the summer and coming back in September. But I think all in all, the big takeaway is just a feeling of pride and positivity for what we were able to do with this platform and bring kind of to the limelight for a little bit some of the amazing people, not just as pool players, but as just wonderful human beings that we have in the community here. And that, when you think about it all like that, feels like a really big win in the first season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that we've done a really good job. It's super special. And not to toot you and I, our horns, but honk honk. Like this is kind of a cool thing to manifest something into reality that was just like merely an idea. In one finale, we've got like some good friends here, some good action, good camera angles, and good graphic work. Thanks to my brother, hardworking graphic design artist Conrad Elshire in Houston, Texas, does that stuff remotely for us. A lot of people contributing to what we're seeing, and I think that we're just witnessing what's in its infancy, and what could be potentially really good for the pool community to help keep connecting people and keep highlighting the little eccentric and beautiful characteristics of the people that are woven in and out of the billiard community. Roland's looking real good here. He's going to have to get one of his bridges, though, I think. No, he's right up on it. You can see Jesse back there at the Hawthorne table. If we switch over the camera, I think this is the first look we've gotten at Jesse Bergman. He wiped the table with me all season, and talking about what we've done good about the show from my perspective, if I can take a minute to say. My goal was to be a better pool player and to be a better human, to connect these people better and to connect with them better directly myself, to do all of that stuff. But it was like a big objective of me to improve my game. And while I think that my game has improved, I don't think that I'm always showcasing it on the show. I think sometimes I do. I think I put some spurts out there, some good shots, some good strings of balls together. Done a couple run-outs. That stuff is present now, and I'm excited about. While I'm disappointed about the overall performance, disappointment is just a part of life, and it's what we're all part of here and doing and experiencing. It lends a lot of room for me to be excited about the room of improvement that I have to do, what I have to focus on. And and I know that I've mentioned it subtly a couple times on the show that I am like taking new employment, working for myself, going to be getting that ball up and running as soon as I can, experiencing some transitions in my life that I'm looking forward to. And that stuff is honestly going to give me the free time that I've needed to really put my words where my mouth is on the practicing and making the practice a perfect practice, turning that into a perfect performance. I'm really looking forward to the time off from the show. It's an exhausting amount of work sometimes.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
And I think we're going to get some good growth. Although we'll still be doing work, the audience and fans can rest assured that there's going to be some like awesome developments and awesome things to entertain on the next season. Just the workload of the evening production itself is a lot. So I'm going to utilize a little bit of that free time and free energy to get back in line on some of my fundamentals, all the way down to my doing laundry. You know what I mean? And the metaphor of how I'm playing is how I'm living.
Well, I know throughout the season you've had a couple games not really result what you were hoping for. You've had some strong play and some not so strong play, but I think I got to say to your credit, and what not everybody realizes is that, you know, the start of every episode for our host Dom here is at the end of him, like, you know, moving several pool tables and driving halfway across the Puget Sound on more days than not, and then coming home and really only having, you know, maybe 15 to 30 minutes to kind of recoup and shower up after work and try to sneak a little meditation in, and then to have to host and perform and all this stuff, which is, you know, like we said, we're in the first season of this show here. It's all pretty new territory for all of us, hosting a show and producing a live stream and doing it consistently. And so I applaud you, Dom, for just diving in head first to that new territory and having a lot of fun with it and experiencing the highs and the lows, but continuing to improve throughout all of it.
Yeah, of course.
And your pool game has come a long way in this last couple months here since we've been doing this. I've seen it. It's pretty evident.
Well, you're somebody whose brain would be available to evaluate those type of variables in a way that means a lot to me. You know, I'm not trying to make excuses more than I am trying to connect with other people about, you know, the fatigue of a physical work day. And, you know, my mom is 35 years protecting data for NASA. She sits at a desk, and, you know, I can tell you that people who do that's a fatiguing job. I know that you sit in front of a studio, in front of the computers and DJ tables, and that's exhausting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting here literally sitting down from standing for a bit because I know some of you guys can see I've got my LL Cool J black leg sleeve that my mom sent me because I've got some circulation issues in my health, and I can get some sleepy leg syndrome, you know, pins and needles in there if I sit for too long or stand for too long. I'm like really focusing on my health and focusing on my diet, trying to get that in order, you know, quitting smoking, getting in tune with less carcinogens, better health, more proteins, more vitamins, more exercise. All of that stuff is like improving my game as well.
Oh, yeah. For a game that feels like it's made, or may appear to some that it's not that physical, that doesn't mean that, you know, having your flexibility and getting rid of those soreness in your muscles and having the strength to lean forward and support your core and all that stuff is like so much more crucial than people give credit to.
Yeah, to bend in a weird way and hold yourself down like a perfect platform and then stroke that ball, like send it some energy in an exact position that you want to without getting out of line. There's some nice bridge work from Roland right there too.
Yes, speaking of having to contort your body in an uncomfortable way, you could see he was really leaning out on that bridge shot and had to brace himself with his offhand, and he just still crushed that shot in the corner pocket. That was beautiful.
Yeah, and from one angle, you know, it looks like he may have came out of line on that 8-ball, but from an angle over here, if you kind of step out from the commentary booth, you'll see he's pretty lined up for that thing in the opposite corner down there.
Yeah, it's looking good. Meanwhile, on our secondary table, Jesse and Matt are plugging away.
Too good, those guys. That's going to be a really good match.
We'll have to check in with them and see the score in just a second. Roland just clears the 8 and gets about as good a leave on the 9 as you can ask for him.
You can hear Brian over there trying to shark him, telling him he's too good. Well done, Roland.
Great out by Roland. Yeah, he'll.
Way to battle.
You know, I like these race to threes. I know that's the usual match that the two of us play at the house. Well, let's check. What's the score on Jesse and Matt's game?
That's 1-0 Jesse. You can see he's like aiming up on a ball over there. He's looking smoother than a hot comb on some curly hair, you know. We were laughing earlier that he looks like the guy from Pool Hall Junkies, if you've ever seen that show. This guy came to play. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it down to the Final Four. I know Jeff Jerome's a favorite. I'm real disappointed to let him get by me like that. Still kind of sitting with that, hoping that it shrugs away and fades away. Kind of doing some inner meditations on that stuff while I wait for my match on the B side. You know, there's no room for self-pity and no room for wallowing in error. This is a game for focusing on improvement.
Absolutely.
Thin hit there to wind up throwing the one ball into the mix and moving the cue ball. No good. No good. You can see Brian asked the crowd if anybody else saw that coming, and Eric Okerlund back there, the clock doctor, said he did. Honestly, I thought the cue ball was going to go off of the headrail and kind of by the 4-ball and the 6-ball, but that was way different. Went down. Now, of course, Roland's got ball in hand. He's going to choose wisely where he's going to put it. 3-ball, and then the 2-ball, and the 5-ball, and the 7-ball are all kind of clustered up together, and the 8's trying to be a neighbor to all of that. So, see what maybe he's fast and loose, and he's looking at the 1-9. I'd like to see him try that. I know that it's like against the ethics of like a high-level pool player that, you know, they always say run out or play safe or whatever. But, you know, again, like in my camaraderie versus competition mindset and balance, the game would be boring if nobody went for him. Good try. Good try. And you know, Brian's over there saying trying to get greedy, and maybe that's so. But it was a pretty safe and conservative outcome out of that. You know, it's not like Brian's got a free out here. He's still got to deal with that cluster now. And you can see he chooses to play a little safe himself, but he didn't really have a chance to win the game. So why not roll the dice and give yourself a chance? You know, have fun, live a little.
Yeah.
Good try on a bank shot. Matt Wells got a good shot back there. He's continuing out a run. You can see Jesse sitting in the bench over there, staying calm. He's over there by Roland. Roland's going to be looking at where he's going to be playing here soon. These guys are safety and back and forth. Looks like finally got one exposed.
So I got 3 chips here.
Mm-hmm. You want to make an announcement? What are you going to bet?
White, a blue, and a red. Talk to me about the value of these here.
Oh no, they're all one chip is one chip. Colors don't matter.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm holding 3, and I want to make sure I've got some skin left in the game here. But when we get down to the final,
here, actually, we should.
But I'm thinking I'm going to put one down on. I'm going to vote for Roland with my chip.
Man, I'll take that.
All right.
Go ahead and piece up our coins right here on our chips on the laptop. Brian, you're my pony. You're my pony.
Little
You're my little pony.
Confusion out of context for Brian there. He's going, "What are you talking about?" Horse in the race.
Don't let me shark you. All right, now one of those balls is out of the cluster. Two of them, the 5-ball and the 2-ball, seem to work their way out. That 3-ball will go in between the 2 and the 4-ball all the way down the corner right there by the brake pad. But, man, that's a finite leave to try and get there. So you can kind of still call that a problem. Maybe the 3-8 goes, so it's not a problem. a lot of problem solving to get done on this rack, though. Still, as long as those the 3, the 7, and the 8 ball sit right there in that little position, I think there's still a lot of game left in this Hill match. Get our money's worth out of this chip. That's gonna be real good. Yeah.
Really narrowly avoided a foul there.
Yeah, I wonder if we can remove the names and stuff for this one shot. Is that can you get quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see here what we're talking about is, Roland has, most people have 1, maybe 2 bridges. Roland's probably got like 15 different ways he can hold that cue. Excellent shot. Excellent shot. What he did there was he kind of snugged up a further problem with the 2 ball into the cluster, but popped out one of them. Little trade there. And then he got him, Brian. Brian left him open. Let's see what he does. That was an excellent strategy play. I'm telling you, Roland's got some great defense game. We were going to have him on an episode during the season, and I'm so happy that he wound up showing up for the season finale, because it was such a disappointment to find out that he had fallen ill with the flu. And of course, it's always nice to hear people recovering from that kind of stuff.
Tough. He just didn't quite connect, didn't quite get enough speed on it to get that 2 to go.
Looked like it had the angle, though.
Yeah.
Brian comes in there with some firm power. He's got kind of that fast power, hard stroke shot. That's how I shoot too. I got to work on that, toning it down. It's easy for me to see it when I watch him shoot, but it's hard for me to control while I'm out there.
Looks like Jesse and Matt have wrapped up their game there.
Yeah, we'll see.
On the secondary table, we're gonna hear from them who the winner was here in just a moment. Meanwhile, Brian's out here sinking balls.
Mm-hmm.
Good look at the 5 in the corner.
Looks like Jesse won. I can read from here.
Yeah.
Jesse got him. By the speed of that, I would say it was probably a fast match.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe Matt got one on him. But we've been playing, before we sold the table to Cliff, and he took that table, Matt came out, and we were playing a lot with him, and that guy's shooting pretty dang great. Playing real good lately.
Yeah, Matt's a new friend to me, new opponent and fellow pool player in my world. And so I've only got a number of matches with him before as you said, before Cliff took the table. And we played pretty even. I think he probably on a larger scale would be winning over me overall. But again, back to the conversation of like player composition and managing your emotions and the etiquette and sportsmanship, I immediately had a really, really great first impression of playing with him.
Totally. I'm super excited to have him be one of the main support agencies behind the endeavor of the Clean Slate 2020 launch.
Yeah, teaming up with you with the
pool table moving services, repairs. Oh, tough miss there. You could see he had great speed.
Yeah, that was tough.
This angle, though, it's going to be hard for Brian to hit this ball, pocket it, and get all the way back down to a healthy 8 ball. He may have to settle for a bank.
I'll tell you, my move here is just play super safe on the 7, worry less about the shape, and then safety on the 8.
That's pretty good.
Ooh, just rattled it out.
Shot it just the way I would have. That's not what you want to do. I think you would have been good on your route. Pocket the 7, guarantee your next chance at the table, and take a better opportunity out of safety, even though it's 2 balls on the table. I get nervous when I've got to play safe, and I'm like out there planning to play safe, and there's only 1 or 2 balls on the table, because sometimes it's hard to figure out a solution, somewhere to hide.
I kind of enjoy it. I'm not a particularly high percentage offensive. Not quite a high percentage offensive player yet at this point. So the safeties are really kind of a comfort zone for me, even with a couple balls on the table. I know you've probably noticed the last couple games that we've played, I just like to, on those long shots, just get a little super soft kiss, send the object ball into the rail, and try to keep them parallel.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of success with that safety, even when it comes down to like only an 8 and 9 ball on the table, or sometimes even if it's only the 9 ball on the table. It's kind of, with some of my lack of confidence with those tough offensive shots, that's kind of like seems like the better bet for me sometimes. We'll see what happens here. It looks like I might be handing my chips over to you, Dom.
Sorry, Joel, we're just working out some details on the bracket here.
No worries.
I may or may not be being called up next. Brian, you got that? Nice job.
Victory goes to
Roland,
Brian.
that's a tough loss, man. Yeah, that was 3.
All right, well, Dom, I'll pass my chip over to you with our bet. Good job to Roland.
Nice job, Brian. Thanks for the chip.
Better job to Brian. And Jesse, talk to me about our upcoming matches here. Who we got next on the TV table?
It's going to be Jesse and Jeff on the live stream table, and me and Jimmy on the back room, on the back table.
Awesome.
Looks like Jimmy's got the 3 ball ready for me to lag up. So I think maybe I'll go try and recruit Luke Lugford to try and commentate back here. Maybe you can get Eric to take your role and get a little break for yourself. I'll be back.
Awesome,
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Play well, Dom. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Jeff Jerome and Jesse Bergman. I'll tell you, that's a match that I've been waiting to watch for a while now. See if I can talk our guest commentator Cosmo into hopping back on the mic here and joining us. Welcome back, Cosmo. How you been, buddy?
Sup? Doing all right, man. Just been walking around, enjoying the game, enjoying the atmosphere. It's fun to, get a little bit of snacks with your friends and watch some exciting pool games.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of pool, a lot of talent in the room as well.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring, honestly. I mentioned I do have quite a love for pool, coming from an early age. But to be honest, my game of choice is actually bowling. But
yeah, that's right.
With that being said, the just level-headedness and the rhythm and the repetition, a lot of those same principles apply in both of these games. So I find even sometimes after playing one and then, next week playing the other, I still see improvement in my game, either or.
Just got to keep your composure, man.
Oh, yes.
So, Nathan, I understand you recently launched a new record label for your music. Want to tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, while we're waiting for them to kind of start this first game on us, kind of give you a little bit of info on that. I've been a musician for a long time. For those of you listening at home, Tor and I go way back. We met in high school and been in several bands together. Music has been a big part of my life, and one of the natural progressions of that, was trying to get into the understanding of music distribution and how to share it with the world, especially with the powerful tool of the internet. And recently launched the record label Bass a la Mode, which is, for those of you wondering, a la mode, besides meaning of course, a side of ice cream, which is my favorite dessert. It also actually is a fashion term that means of the current trend. So my hope there is just to kind of provide people with a consistent source of music that's up to date and, small slice of the global consciousness of, what people are enjoying right now in this moment.
That's awesome. What are some recent things, recent kind of events or activities or releases? What do we have from your label so far? I know you're still kind of in those first couple quarters of launching that new business, but we have some products out. We have some events. What are we looking like here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have one release on the label so far. It's actually released by myself. My EP is called Epiphany. That came out probably about, 3-4 months ago now. We're going to be starting a series pretty soon called Flavor of the Week, which will be, nice shot by Jesse, good contact there. But that Flavor of the Week series will be just a chance to release individual songs and give myself a little bit more flexibility in, exploring new styles of music that I might not necessarily want to, commit a whole EP to right away. So I'm excited for that, and
So Flavor of the Week, like an ice cream parlor would do,
just
right?
the weekly special, whatever you might suggest. Our style of music that we're known for is, first off, it's in the electronic dance music realm in general. But the style of music that we play, we simply call it bass music, which tends to have an emphasis on low-end frequencies and the use of subwoofers to not only engage the audience audibly, but as well as physically, as those sine waves are, making their way towards you and raising the hair on your arms. So with that being said, if I wanted to say move into a different style and perhaps check out something totally different, like some techno or something like that, that's where that Flavor of the Week kind of gives me that flexibility.
Awesome. Yeah, and when you're talking about the physicality of that music, that bass music, I mean, I know you and I recently spent some time together at the Emissions Festival down in California, and I mean, we're literally talking 20 to 30 subwoofers, 18-inch speakers with thousands of watts of amplification, moving, compressing, and expanding that air more than what you would hear, but like literally feels like it shakes the earth in some of those more dynamic moments.
Yeah, that's very true. In fact, I am a little bit of a kind of numbers and science geek myself, and really find a fascination in, especially the study of physics, both from an audio perspective as well, even in the beautiful game of pool here, and, some of those low frequencies that you're talking about, or some notes that you, again, aren't even hearing and literally just feeling, and it's a perception thing at that point, and it's a nice little contact on the cheddar there, but yeah, it's, it's nice to have, again, music is a beautiful thing that, engages the ears and the sense of hearing. But once you start to, include in a festival environment a large sound system that, again, gets your sense of physical touch involved, as well as, visual stimulation from the visuals on stage and the projection mappings and so on, it really starts to create a almost full body experience, that I'm just an experience I'm very passionate about, and I love to talk and share with people as much as I possibly can for the little bit of time that I get to be here on this planet. Oh, beautiful rail shot there by Jeff. It almost looked like it went off the tip there a little bit and then kind of straightened out. That was the trip.
Yeah.
He's got his eyes on the 5 now. Pretty.
And Jeff, I think he's got his eyes on the whole prize tonight. He's been playing really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we knew he was going to be one of the top contenders in general tonight, So just to see him, rise to that expectation and just follow through with almost every match that we've seen so far is pretty awesome. Ooh.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure. He knew what he wanted to have happen there, and there was just going to be that lingering risk of that side pocket, no matter what, I think, with that. He did the best he could, but Jesse's going to get the last 3 on the table. You know how I feel about that. This is, both of these guys are very talented players, and so it's, going to be, again, this is looking like an exercise that he's going to practice regularly. I'm sure that some, memories of drills he's done before are ringing through his head right now, and he's just going to try and execute. Beautiful first shot right down the rail there. God, I love that one so much. I personally struggle a lot with those, those rail cuts. We used to call them back at the house the NATO cut. Something that was a big weakness of mine. Beautiful shot on the 8 there, rolling out, lining up perfectly with the 9. Oh, a little bit farther than we wanted for the negative cut, but I don't think that should be much problem for such a talented player like Jesse. Beautiful.
Yeah, he cleans it up easily.
A little bit of back there just to make sure we didn't have any risk of going into the side there. Cool.
So that first game's going to go to Jesse. You can see Jeff racking up for him here, and Jesse gets a moment to collect his thoughts and think about this next break.
In a game where, again, your mental endurance and all that, and ability to stay focused, despite all outside, extra parameters or all that aside, to even have that moment just to breathe and just chalk a cue and think about nothing else can be so valuable in the tempo swing of the game sometimes,
Absolutely. Dom and I were talking a little while ago about watching some footage of Shane Van Boning, one of our favorite pro pool players. The etiquette in a lot of tournament play and even just a lot of pickup games is that when you lose, you make one round around the table on your way back to rack up the balls, grab all of the balls out of the pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
The opponent or your opponent who just won the game, whichever pocket they're closest to, that they would take the balls out of that side and send them down the table your way. And we saw a clip of Shane grabbing all but one of the balls. He looked in the pocket, saw that there was a ball there, and then walked past it and made his opponent walk all the way around the entire table looking for that ball on, live national television, high pressure professional match. The guy was already sweating the loss, and then now he was sweating the additional stress of looking foolish that he didn't know what ball he was missing or where it was. And it's funny, those just a little choice to do something or not to do something like that can have such a mental impact on your opponent.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, as I'm sure some people, in the crowd may have watched, or those at home that were watching that game and saw Shane, pull a move like that. Some people might say that was a little bit of a, negative character.
Sure, maybe
there
unsportsmanlike, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, but, I think that there's something to be said about being strategic about that, and keeping people on their toes. I think I actually asked you earlier about what the legality was of having to sit down, in between, if you were required to do that, or if I could, technically stand in the line of sight of someone playing, or, what I mean? There's an interesting way to kind of think about that, and in any way you can possibly try and get an edge, whether that be moving the chalk so they always got to go a little extra far around the table, or
Absolutely. Yeah. The really tough competitor in me is always looking for how I can walk that line and just get a little edge somewhere, somehow, to get in the other person's head.
Speaking of, wondering what's going on in Jesse's head here. Oof. Especially after that miss. He wanted that bad. To go up against, Jeff Jerome right now is definitely one of the, probably most skilled players in the room. To be able to start off the round 2-0 or whatever, really have Jeff on his back foot. So I know Jesse wants this one bad right now. Jeff gets the leave and just a little too much speed there. Cut himself off from the view of the 6.
Makes you wonder what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's
got
very
really
resourceful,
strong player when it comes to kicks, but it looks like he's going to
even
grab his jump cue. Yeah, pull that extension off there and get ready to hop it.
Yeah, totally. You haven't seen the jump cue come out quite a bit this evening, and honestly, the accuracy's been pretty good shooting all night.
Yeah, it's been not bad.
Mm-hmm. Notice him lining up the shot just like a regular shot you would, and after doing so, pivoting into that upward motion and getting that downward angle to really drive the cue into the table. And again, hits it.
Gets solid connect.
Yeah.
Doesn't get it to fall, but
It's almost like locked to the exact same spot. Yeah. All right. Wow. Should they have traded cues there a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, he really did leave him with the same shot that he just shot. And sure enough, Jesse steps over to grab his jump cue. As if almost to say, well, you couldn't make this one, Jeff. Let's see what I can bring to the table. We're rejoined in the booth here by Brian Trudeau. Brian, how you doing?
All right. right?
Oh, yeah.
What a score. That was a pretty well executed jump shot. And got the 9 hanging in the pocket.
Yeah.
All you got to do here is make the 8 ball. Don't get anything fancy. Just put the damn thing in the hole. And Jesse has the ability to do that. What's the score on this match?
Jesse's up 1-0 right now.
Oh.
Jeff is, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, he might get it still. Nope, it's out of his pocket. Drop in there. Oh,
too bad.
man.
Thought he was going to have a little bit of luck there.
Pocket ain't that big. But damn, that was a good jelly roll almost.
It's too bad.
And these race to 3 tournaments, even at our level, these are like sprint races. I mean, these are over in a blink of an eye with some of these guys. And it's so important to get an early lead. I mean, even being up 1-0 is a huge deal. Now, with Jeff now being 2-0, that puts Jesse at a significant disadvantage. One mistake, one rattled ball, and Jeff can get out, and it's all she wrote. In a race to 3, it's super critical to jump on an early lead, even if it's just 1-0. It psychologically sets the player up too, especially when you're 2-0. It psychologically allows you to relax, so you're not so tense when you're shooting the balls, and that actually helps your momentum increase, and you actually run out easier, most cases. Jeff here. 2 ball might go. No, he broke dry and left a shot on the 1 ball. So Jesse has a chance to come back and put a mark. Yeah, move the rack. Let Jesse shoot his heart out. That 2 ball is a little bit tough, and that 3 ball is tucked in. But Jesse got an opportunity here to make the 1, make the 2, and then play a good safe on the 3. And at that point, the table's wide open if he can get ball in hand.
Brian, you'll have to excuse me. I was a little distracted there at the end of that last match. How did those last 2 balls go down?
Shit.
Tricky.
Put a little mustard on that shot.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, when you hit balls hard, even if your aim is pure, the pockets play so tight when you hit the ball hard, because if you rub or touch anything, it launches the ball off the rails and causes it to rattle. And this table particularly rattles quite a bit. I mean, if you hit the inside face of the pocket with a little bit of pace, it'll rattle it and spit it right out. So if you're gonna hit it firm, you better triple check your aim.
Yeah.
So Jeff has this is not easy in any way, shape, or form. The 3 ball is still tucked in on that side pocket, which is they're gonna have to play a safe on it. Or if he gets in a good enough shape on it, he can carry him off the 3 into the 5 to the side, which is probably preferable. But you have to get there, otherwise that shot makes no sense if you can't keep the cue ball on the end rail with the 3. Because if the cue ball goes flying around or goes down towards the end of the table on the short rail, that makes that shot really, really tough then to stay on for the 4 ball. So we're going to see here from the 2. Oh, unlucky.
It was about the only possible outcome that you hadn't accounted for. It's not what I was expecting to happen there.
A little bit. Yeah, Jeff said he's trying to get the double kiss on it, which made sense. Looks like Dom won on the back table there. Ooh, can he break it out? Oh, very, very nice job. Jesse Bergman. That was a top shelf shot right there. That's a Johnny Walker Blue Label of breakout shots.
You know, I don't drink a lot these days, but I do really enjoy Johnny Walker. And I saw at a liquor store when I was running an errand with a friend of mine on our way up to Seattle that they had a limited edition Johnny Walker Gold label.
Yeah, I've had
And
that. We had a bottle of that here.
Like I said, not big into my alcohol these days, but I was like more impressed by that liquor than anything I drank in a long time.
Yeah, that liquor didn't stay around here too long. It was
made quick work of that one.
Yeah, we that disappeared quickly. Not sure how, but it was gone quickly. That is a very tough break for Jesse. After that 3-ball shot, to use the 6 to bump the ball to basically slow the cue ball down to hold it for the 4. This goes back, and I could be wrong, but this goes back to Jesse knew that was a phenomenal shot and the phenomenal breakout before that. And that might have been his, he got a little too worked up and excited because even when you have positive emotion, and those are excellent, excellent shots, maybe he didn't take the time to kind of settle himself down from a positive emotion.
Yeah.
Not just negative, but positive emotions. So,
yeah, like any swing of the pendulum.
Right, exactly.
Really.
Good or bad, they can kind of cloud your judgment, and that's a tough break for Jesse because he was shooting so good.
Yeah, he really was.
I mean, you gotta shoot good with Jeff, and Jesse's the guy to put a hurting on him if you let him run. But
totally.
I think Jeff here, I'm shocked if he's not out from here. I mean, they're all on the same side of the table. Yep.
Yeah, totally. If you had told me that this was how the hill was going to look for Jeff and Jesse in this match, I would have been surprised because I kind of favor Jesse, and maybe it's a biased opinion because I just like the guy a whole lot. But
well, Jesse has the ability on a race to 3. I mean, it's really, even at the level we play here, which is we're not pros by any stretch of the imagination. We're not even semi-pro, but we still can hit balls pretty well.
Yeah.
And a race to 3 with these guys, I mean, it's literally a coin flip. I mean, one mistake and Jesse can run 2 racks on you. One mistake and Jeff can run 2 racks on you. We are not pros, but we do know our way around the pool table. And Jeff especially. Jeff has been around playing pool for quite a number of years and has taken pool seriously, and it shows in his game. I mean, the man gets out more often than not. He's a very, very tough opponent. But, I think Jesse has, there's people in this room that can beat Jeff in a race to 3. A race to 10 or 15, that's a lot tougher, because Jeff's way more consistent than most of us are still. But Jesse can definitely come back and win this. I've seen him do it. So.
Well, I'm realizing now as Jesse's racking up another set for Jeff that I must have had the score incorrect.
It's 2-1. We have that score correct?
Yeah. Updating that to reflect the correct score. Thanks, everyone, for bearing with us. A lot of stuff going on here tonight. A lot of stuff to keep our attention and distract us, for that matter.
Oh, yeah. All right. Jeff with another. Is that a dry break? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, he's got 1 down. He's got 8 on the table.
No, that's 9 on the table.
6, 7, 8. No, it's 9 on the table. Dry break, Jeff. Take a seat. And I'd like to point out on in professional pool, down to this level here, the break is so critically important. Like this dry break here, there's a fairly decent chance that that might cost Jeff a game.
Yeah. Well, and he's really lucky that the 2 ended up where it did.
Yeah.
To cause Jesse to have to 3 rail it like that.
Mm-hmm. The thing I work on when I break, I've been on, especially on 9-ball, is you got to get the cue ball in a place where, and then the 1 ball has to be near a pocket or somewhere you can shoot at it. There are a lot of times that people just smack the balls loose and try to make the wing ball, which goes in on a tight rack almost every time.
Yeah.
But you have the 1 ball down on the short rail here, and the cue ball's way up there, and you really have no shot. That was a great shot, Jeff. Nice masse.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And so if you break and make balls but have no shot on the 1, have to play safe every time, the goal here is to break and run, not break and play safe. So if you treat the break, and this is what I tell a lot of the new people that are playing and the people that want to get better, is stop treating the break as a formality to start the game. It's a precision shot like every other shot. So you need to treat it like that with cue ball control and object ball control. And then once you start getting that concept in your mind that this is not just a formality to start the game, that this needs to be a precise shot with a certain amount of speed, a certain amount of draw, or however you're going to do it. But you need to be very consistent in where you hit the rack and how hard you hit it and what you're trying to do with it. And you'll be amazed on how it goes from so random to so consistent.
Yeah. Well, in theory, it's the only shot that every time you come up to that shot, you have the ability to shoot it exactly the same way every time. Like everything else in theory has 1,000,001 variables.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, but the rack is in the same spot every time. It's the same lead ball every time, and you can choose where you hit it. So, and it's actually the most important shot, because if you get like these pros you'll watch them 9 times out of 10 after they break, they got a shot on the one and they break and run.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. It's not because they get lucky 9 times out of 10. It's because they purposely. Oh.
I think we're sharking the players
Oh, I'm
here.
so sorry. I have my. Okay. I'm gonna shut up. Sorry about that, Jeff. Okay. Continue running. I thought Jeff was unsharkable. Okay. All you gotta do is come back down. I think he's on a weird angle, but I think he can draw it back up for the 8.
I think just to piggyback on what you were saying about the pro players and their breaking and stuff, for players that are playing peak level, at the top of their game.
Stay out of there.
That break is, like you said, not just a formality for those high-level players, but a real calculated way that they can decide to make that table play the way they want it to.
Right. And they also make a determination based on how they know that table's playing that day and how the balls are rolling. Okay. Left himself a little tough on the 9 ball, but totally doable for Mr. Jerome here.
Yeah.
There it is. Very nice job, Jeff Jerome. Well
Wraps
done,
it
guys.
up, even with the sharking from the commentary
Yeah,
booth.
the
Jeff takes it home.
The peanut
Well
gallery
played, Jeff.
apologizes. It's my.
Hey, we're just here
it's
being
my
passionate about what's going
My
on.
deep
That's all it comes
baritone
down to.
voice just seems to carry. I'm trying to cover my mouth the rest of it.
You know Sergio?
Yeah.
That guy, his voice carries for miles. And I don't care where he's playing, and he could be clear across the country.
Well, at least I was talking about your game and pool related. At least I was talking about your pool game related. But yeah, dude, I could not. I thought I was being really quiet, so I was like really focused on that. But apparently, I was way too loud.
Yeah, we kind of, with our headphones on and everything back here, can get in the zone, and good conversation turns into like some real heated, heavy discussion about life and pool and all that.
And then Jeff Jerome's very sensitive ears picks up the commentary. And yeah. Gotcha. All right, I'm on. So yeah, me and Eric are on deck. All right.
Just getting the good word about our upcoming matches here.
We still got action. We got who's it? Sam and Matt on the back table.
Yeah.
And so Matt is a seasoned vet here in Tacoma, and Sam is a brand newbie, green pea, but she is doing very, very well. She's on these tables practicing all the time. You should see. I mean, honest to God, for someone who's been shooting for 4 months, if you watch her stroke, it's better than some people I've watched who's been playing for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I was real surprised to hear you say that she was so new, because for me, what set a really good first impression is her composure. My first couple months of playing pool, I was cursing and pissed when I was missing shots and didn't know what I was doing, and you couldn't tell that if she's been playing for 4 months or 40 years, way that her body language is.
She cusses. When she's by herself, you'll hear her in there, bleepity bleep and son of a bleep, and she gets irritated.
Yeah. Well, we all do.
But she comes here and she plays in these tournaments, and she actually plays some league. I told her that, I don't prefer League. I think my game has outgrown League. That's my personal opinion. That's how I feel. But I was like, you don't get to, she was like, well, then why should I play League? I was like, because I have many years of playing League that I have under my belt. You need to go experience that and see what it's like for yourself. You might love it. You might hate it. But you need to go experience it and get to your own conclusion. But we've kind of turned her a little bit of a pool snob here lately. She's but she's been around so many good pool players and she has so much help from all these guys that, and ladies. Debbie Welfinger has helped her out quite a bit. And Debbie is an excellent source of knowledge for the game and been helping her out. And she really retains it, and she comes back to these tables here and she practices it and works on her break and works on her stroke, and it shows. I mean,
that to me recently about how important League play can be for new players. And I actually recently joined our pro commentator Cassandra Bryant's League team, and I was real disappointed to find just had too many scheduling conflicts to make enough matches to stay on the team.
Yeah.
But I know that's a really logical and important next step for me, is to start getting some pressured competition under my belt.
Yeah, the leagues are there's some leagues like the APA that the social atmosphere is really good. I mean, the APA for that is phenomenal. I mean, the rules and stuff they have in their league, I don't agree with, nor do I find challenging, or they're just more frustrating. But they have a niche, and they have people that want to play, and so my opinion matters very little. I just choose not to play in it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Right, but I will tell you, by far, their social vibe at their league matches and stuff, by far second to none. I mean, everybody's as cool with each other. I mean, for the most part. I mean, you got the kind of wild people, they got the people who drink too much, but that's everywhere you go. But their the APA social environment is great. I mean, everybody loves everybody. Everybody has a good time. Everybody's really supportive of everybody. It's just, I have nothing bad to say about that at all. Nothing. It's great. But in the other leagues too, and this is the important thing about going to League, is that you're part of a team. It's a structured thing, and eventually, when you take pool seriously and you decide that you want to get really good, and for our level, really good. Okay, nobody's going pro here, but for our level, really good, League starts to lose it. That shine falls off the apple pretty hard. It's because you'd rather go and gamble, or you'd rather go and hit balls by yourself, where you get more table time instead of waiting 4 or 5 hours to play one match. But you still need to try that out. You still need to experience that, because that is a big part of the pool community. So it's very important that you get that under your belt and know what that feels like. So that way, when you come to these tournaments, and not just this one, but maybe mine, and there's several others around the area, you can play your best, and because League is not like, you're not gambling. Basically, every tournament you go to, you're gambling. You put money in, you're trying to win money out that night.
Never thought about it like that,
it's
even
gambling.
in the tournament style stuff.
Right. It's not like you're gambling with someone like we're playing for $50 a set, but it's still gambling.
Yeah.
And that puts pressure on you. In League, there's still pressure to win, because you don't want to let your team down, right? So there's a different kind of pressure. But you still need to experience to play under pressure, and that actually is a stepping stone to get good at these tournaments. Now, I always say that, you should play tournaments, because that's where, you get the most pressure, and you actually see what good pool is when these guys who show up who can break and run more often than not. You can physically watch what good pool looks like, and then you can try to start emulating that, which makes your game so much better, so much faster. So Roland here. I've never played Roland before, honestly, and I was very, very surprised on how very accurate he is, even in spite of obviously he's in a wheelchair, and that makes the harder to stroke and things like that, but the man is accurate. I was like, wow. So,
I was talking about that with Dom a little bit earlier, and how we were both kind of coming to the realization that probably a lot of the techniques that he has when he plays, he probably developed with very little instruction, because I don't even know for a player that's in his situation how much education content is out there. I mean, there's enough for an able-bodied. I say that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a statement of fact. I mean, he's probably aware of it, but for what he has, for what the cards he was dealt, Jesus, that is standing ovation. Like, holy cow, man, that was great.
Yeah.
And he put pressure on me. I was like, I might actually lose this match. Like, if I keep selling out, he's going to run him. So kudos to Mr. Rowland here. Keep it up, buddy.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to having him on next season.
Looks like Matt got that match in the back table.
You know, Matt hasn't had a game on the TV table yet, but it looks like he's playing pretty strong over there.
Yeah, we need to get everybody to the TV table once, so that way they can all be commentated on and showcased, because there's some good shooters here. And even if the people, like I said with Sam and maybe Debbie, they're not the strongest shooters, but damn it, they're here in the show, and they're trying, and they're giving it their best, and they're not afraid to show up. And dude, there's something to be said for that all by itself. There's so many players that won't show up to my tournament because they're like, you know, I won't say afraid. They're not really afraid. It's just they don't feel like their game's at the level where. Oh, it should be up there, man. They don't feel like their game's at the level where they can compete. And I keep telling them, it's like, do you think the professionals just came out of the womb with a cue stick and were perfect at pool? No. They kept showing up and kept going 2 and out and showing up and 2 and out and showing up and 2 and out. And then they got better. So you got to get back on the horse that bucks you off, and you can't be afraid to get on it. And like I said, if you show up, the reality is just low possibility you're going to win the tournament, right? But the more you keep showing up, the better you're going to get.
Well, and you have to kind of train and hone yourself against people that are at a level above you. I think that's the fastest way to get good positive influence on what needs to happen with your game, so you can make those mistakes and learn those lessons quick and early.
And you know what's even better is all of these guys I've ever ran into, they are so quick to give you some help. You know, nobody here is like bogarting the information of like, no, I can't tell you because I don't want you to get, like, they want you to get better. I want you to put some pressure on me.
Absolutely.
If you get better, I got to get better. So everybody wins. See if Roland can get this 3 in the side here. Oh, he was going for the corner. That 4 is going to be, or the 7 ball right there, that 5-7 on the tied up on the rail there is going to be, that's going to be a serialistic nightmare to get that out of there and try to get shape. Is that back table open? We're up. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Tor here. I got to go play on the back table.
All right, play well, Brian. Bringing Roland back up to the table. See what he's going to do with this 3 ball now. We're joined by our special guest commentator, my very good friend, Nathan Ramos. Welcome back. I'll take that one. He's pulling the high chews out. Doesn't want the pineapple flavor. I'll take it.
I don't know what the odds are, but that's literally the only candy I pulled out of the 5-flavor bag here all night. What's going on here? There we go. There's a mango.
Oh, yeah, the mangoes are good, too.
Nice shot, Dom. Now here we are with this little 5-7 problem area that we were already foreseeing to give him a little bit of struggle, but went for the combo, tipped it. Left rolling with a very makeable shot here. Just the tiniest bit of follow. Should line him up for the 7 right after that. Oh, excuse me, I didn't see the 6 there actually. Either way, even a small amount of follow will just have him hit that 6 right into the side pocket. There it is. 5 ball has been sunk. He's making his way around the table, lining up on the 6. And for those of you watching and listening at home, maybe wondering where the source of our soundtrack is coming from tonight, Torbjorn is actually going to be the man that you get to thank for that, for his choice of selections, providing us with a consistency steady playlist of lo-fi hip-hop and trap beats to enjoy pool or study and chill at home or any of the above. So if you guys are liking what you're hearing tonight, please make sure and check out his social media, everything.com/beatsbytor, where you can find all kinds of enjoyable tracks, just like what you're listening to right now.
Yeah, and on that note, a big shout out to a couple friends, Pills Beats, Cosmo, I believe. A couple of our collaborations are in the playlist. And I've got one or two tracks by our good friend Sam, stage name Subduction, as well, and a few other ones. Our buddy Jeff, aka Pyrex, and a few other friends from the internet that are also talented music makers as well. Here on Sharky Waters, we kind of try to put a little spotlight on some of our friends in the pool community. This is kind of my small way of being able to do that to our friends in the music community as well.
And with that being said, any of you out there that are happen to have a passion for music as well, like we do, and perhaps you even create music, please feel free to share your music with us, either in a private message on the Sharky Waters page or even in the comments section of the video you're watching. We'd love to hear what you have and maybe even add some of that music to the playlist. So please don't hesitate to share your art with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Open door policy. If you play pool, if you play music, if you just like pool, if you just like music, we'd love to hear from you. Of course, anyone in the Puget Sound area, if you're interested in watching a show live in our upcoming season, which is going to be back this September, that'd be a great reason to reach out to us as well. We're going to be opening up our set to select members of the public so that we can start having some live audience available, so we can connect with more fans of the pool and billiards community, and so a couple of you fans out there get an opportunity to see and experience what we do up close and personal. Back on our secondary table, it looks like Eric and Brian are matching up against each other. I think fair weather, Bryant probably